Good afternoon. Welcome along to the Cressing Road Stadium here in Braintree. Chris Bell and Dave Kendra here for this live match coverage of Guiseley AFC, their trip to Braintree. I'm Chris Bell. Alongside me, Dave Kendra. Good afternoon, Dave.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good start there. Turn your mic on, Dave. Come on, keep up. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Avanti Insurance Stadium here in Braintree. We have been here since 12:30.
Before then, 12 o'clock-ish, give or take.
We left a lot of time to get down here on the A1, and unlikely news, we made it down crazy early today. So we've been settling in here at this stadium. It's been a very lovely day so far. The sun's only really just gone in. The pitch is looking in good condition, good nick for this part of the season. So there's a couple of bumps here and there, but otherwise looking in decent nick. They were watering it as we arrived, so we expect it to be a little bit slick on top. And there's a good, decent crowd gathering. So all for a good day of football. And here's hoping Guiseley's first away win of the season.
Absolutely. And we've had a really nice welcome as well from everybody involved at the club so far.
Absolutely lovely welcome. They welcomed us in with open arms. We've had a very nice chat with a few club officials from the shop and one of the directors and of course the chip ladies, but there'll be more about that later.
You had a bit of banter with the chip girls.
#bants with the chip ladies. Yeah, it's been so far a very pleasant afternoon. Let's hope it continues.
Now, we'll start by looking back at Guiseley. Unbeaten in the last 6 games, 5 of which are draws though. Doesn't entirely tell the story, does it, when we say unbeaten in 6?
It doesn't at all, and but I think the positive to take from it is that it could quite easily have been 5 out of 6 that we've lost. Some that we've been unlucky to draw, some that we have been somewhat fortunate to draw. Some have been hard-earned points. To the stats, it's just we can't quite take our chances, but we're not weak enough to concede goals in any great number, which I think is probably true with the way we've played in the last few games. I think what we'll be looking for today is just another good solid defensive performance, which it largely was against Southport. I thought certainly Rob Atkinson had a fantastic game on that score, but for one crazy mistake, which I'm sure Danny Boshell knows all about now. We would have won that game. We should have won that game because again we're talking about a game that's got passed us by, where we've had 3 or 4 good chances to wrap it up and not been able to quite take it.
Well, from Braintree's perspective, they've had 1 defeat in their last 6 games. We'll run through their recent results. There was a 2-1 defeat against Aldershot, then a 1-0 win over Kidderminster, a 1-1 draw against Barrow, a 0-0 draw against Dover, an emphatic 4-0 win at Altrincham. So that is an excellent result, bearing in mind the bigger clubs, shall we say, on paper, like Tranmere, have only gone there and taken a point. Same for Cheltenham, I think. And then on Tuesday night, they were the victors in a 2-1 win over Woking. So done a good bit for themselves, and that has put Braintree very nicely in the table. 5th, 6th in the league?
6th place. 6th place in the table, and very happy with it. They are too. As I said before, we were talking to one of the directors earlier who said to us, look, we're not such a different club from Guiseley in terms of our facilities, in terms of our finances, in terms of the amount of fans that we can attract. Where they are in the footballing universe is not that different to where Guiseley are in the footballing universe, and yet they've stayed. This is about their 5th consecutive season at this level. They've consistently defied expectations to stay in the division, and this season are absolutely thriving.
Absolutely, and as he also said to us, everybody at the club is part-time. It's a part-time role, He was a member of the one of the directors. He was opening the club shop, though, to make sure everything was running smoothly there.
Absolutely, and it's people like that are sort of the lifeblood of the game, the people who give their, and the people who do the same at Guiseley, who give their time willingly and generously to keep these clubs afloat and to keep these clubs running and to keep them with the character that they've got, with the warm and friendly character that I think should personify non-league football.
And in terms of the management of these two sides, we've got a PE teacher versus an estate agent outside of
Yeah.
football.
Yes, we do. I don't think Mark's going to sell him a house afterwards. He probably doesn't have any properties down here. It's a bit far out of his catchment area.
But it says a lot, doesn't it, about it's this level of football, these kind of clubs where you've got the part-time roles, and it goes literally from top to bottom of these clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's good, isn't it?
It's a great assessment, that. Cheers, Dave. It's good, innit?
That was rubbish. No, I think it's just. I think we're going to have non-league day in a few weeks. We're going to be at Forest Green for that, and I think that sort of fact, that sort of attitude, is what's great about football at this level, at Conference North and South level, and about football, outside those top. Basically, those top two divisions, where there's now an ever-increasing gap in terms of finances and ability at that level, and then further down the league, we are literally all in it together. So Guiseley, Braintree, whether they like it or not, Dover, that we're all in it together. And the only way that the non-league football is going to thrive and survive is by working together, is by looking out for each other and giving each other a warm welcome when we come to the stages, which Braintree absolutely have done today.
Yeah, they have been absolutely fantastic from when we arrived. As they just turned 12 o'clock to welcome us in. Just it counts a lot. It's fair to say it does count a lot when you come to these places. We've come just short of 3.5 hours on the way down. It's been an excellent day. The fans are doing the same as well, although I don't think all of the guys and supporters have made it. I can't tell whether the coach is here or not. We can't see it from where we're sat. But no, it's all making up for a great afternoon of football. Going back to Tuesday night then for Southport, that game, we should have won, shouldn't we? For me,
absolutely we should have won. I mean,
don't get me wrong, Southport had the chances. They did strike the woodwork early on in the second half. But beyond that, did they ever really test Steve Drench?
Well, it was said after the game, wasn't it? It was a game. It was, to use the old phrase, it was a game of two halves. It was a game where Guiseley absolutely dominated that first half. Went one up with that brilliant free kick from Liam Dickinson, which happened, by the way. That happened. We saw it. It was on camera. He curled a free kick in off the post.
You were watching that down in the car on the way down. I wasn't. I was driving, doing the sensible thing. But what a free kick it was.
Absolutely brilliant free kick, and we were trying to work out. We couldn't tell from the angle on the camera whether the Southport wall was just slightly misplaced. But even if it was, it's still a beautifully placed free kick with a fantastic amount of spin on it. You can tell there's a massive amount of spin on it from the way it ricocheted off the inside of the post and into the net. It was a beautiful free kick.
But on the whole, it was something we couldn't hold on to.
But that's it, and this has been the story of the season: is that we work ourselves into winning positions and not manage to take those chances. There was a couple of times in the box where we could have finished it off. There was a glorious chance for Wayne Brooksby to finish it off, and his rather tame shot just fell into the arms of the keeper, I think. So we have to have that kind of ruthlessness now. And it has to start very soon. It has to start today. If the chance comes to us, we have to take it. And we were talking in the car on the way down about, players shooting and how it's not hugely fashionable these days to just belt it in the style of Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer was great because all Alan Shearer would ever do is get the ball down, take a couple of touches, edge of the D, shoot top corner every single time. He wasn't feeding off loose balls in the box. He wasn't passing it around trying to make the perfect trying to score the perfect goal, if you like. His main job was to kick the ball as hard as he possibly could into the goal. We need to start doing that. I'm not saying we need to sign Alan Shearer, who's probably past it now.
Hey, it'd be good for publicity.
It'd be fantastic for publicity. Play football, Alan. Don't talk. But it'd be great. But no, my point stands is that, quite a lot in that second half against Southport. We were
overplaying it?
We were overplaying it. We got bogged down quite a bit on the edge of the box, and Southport are able to recover and get the ball clear. So, I mean, it is important that, even if we only see the slightest gap, have a go. Let's have a go today. Let's have a go at them. Braintree are 6th in the league. They've done very well. They've had a fantastic start to the season, but make no mistake, this is a winnable game for Guiseley.
Absolutely. Well, Mark Bauer spoke to our very own Colin Robertson after the game on Tuesday night. Here's what he had to say.
Joined out by Mark Bauer after the 1-1 draw at home to Southport. It was a point gained on Saturday, Mark. I'm sure you must view that as 2 loss tonight.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you're winning the game so late on, we've had 2 really, really good chances to put the game to bed in the second half. We've, without really playing well in the second half, we've soaked up everything that they've had to throw at us, restricted them to long-range efforts. But made a mistake there, and obviously the lad sticks it in the top corner from 20-25 yards, and it definitely does feel like 2 points drops. You know, there's that disappointing feeling in the dressing room that you get when you lose games. So yeah, disappointed. We should have won the game.
Only made 1 change in the second half with Adam Boyes coming on for Liam Dickinson. Did you ever feel he could have changed it earlier?
No, I thought Dicko was winning his headers up there, and we just felt comfortable, you know. Brought Boyes on, he got his chance from the corner, which he'll be disappointed he didn't take. And I thought George and Wayne were causing them problems on the counter attack. So no, I thought we looked pretty comfortable really, and caught on the counter attack and made a mistake and ends up in the back of our net. So obviously disappointed with that. We'll watch the game back, look to see if there were things that we could have done better, things that I could have done better. But no, when I don't think you can legislate for the mistake that leads to giving the ball away and then the lad sticking in the top corner. I think if we'd done our jobs properly, taken our chances when they came, that game would have been comfortably won.
Plus points, the goal in the first half, Liam Dickinson's free kick was top class, wasn't it?
Yeah, great strike from him. He's got that in his locker. The lads on the benches who were lining it up said this either end up in the top corner or over the netting behind the goal. But no, he's hit it well, seen the gap down the side of the wall and executed it really, really well. And again, was a good presence for us up there, got hold of it well and won his headers. So yeah, pleased for him. It takes him to top scorer now for us, and hopefully can continue that form.
Impressive performance from the debutant, George Maris. It was a bit of a surprise to us on the team sheet this evening. Tell us a bit about him. Yeah,
George is a player from Barnsley. He's at Nuneaton on loan last year. Had a spell towards the end of last season with them, so he's got conference experience. He knows what the level's all about. Highly thought of at Barnsley, and just gives us that something different that perhaps we've lacked in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, we're Gavin out and. Or Gavin having been out and OJ still out, we've just lacked in that wide department. And I thought he did well. Thought he grew into the game as it went on, and he showed his obvious qualities, and hopefully he can have a good time with us and enjoy it, and hopefully we can get some good performances from him.
And it's away to Braintree on Saturday. It's the same old question, isn't it? It's another tough trip, isn't it?
Yeah. Stand here after every game saying the next one's going to be a difficult one. Southport, proved tonight. We knew it wasn't going to be an easy game. Even though their position in the league suggests that it might be an easy one, we knew it was going to be difficult, and Braintree will be absolutely no different. They had a big win at the weekend at Altrincham, and I'm sure that they'll be difficult opponents. But we'll take confidence from tonight, the fact that we controlled the game for large spells. We defended well when we had to do. Created enough chances to win it, but just got punished at the end with the lads sticking it in the top corner.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, that was Mark Bauer speaking after the game on Tuesday, the 1-1 draw against Southport. And, as Mark said there, the mistake in the game, in the second half, from Danny Boshell, it's what cost us, evidently.
Well, it's uncharacteristic of Danny Bosch to make an error that blatant at that point of the game. He's been playing long enough now to know what he should have done. The look on his face as soon as he'd done it, he knew he'd done something pretty severe. Take nothing away from Louis Armand. It was a fantastic finish. It would have to beat Stephen Drench, but I think we just move on from that now. I think you can't be dwelling on that now. It happened. It was a shame. The fact remains the game should have been out of sight well before then. So I'm sure Danny Bosch will be and Mark Barrow will have had a chat this week, and they'll be moving on.
Absolutely. Well, I spoke to Danny Boshell after the game on Tuesday. Here's what he had to say. I'm joined by Guiseley player assistant Danny Boshell after the 1-1 draw against Southport. Danny, can you start for me by trying to sum up the performance and the result from the lads?
I thought the performance was very good tonight in patches. I thought first half we were good. Second half they put us under a bit of pressure and a bit of possession at ball, but still when we picked them off in second half, we created the best chances and we should have been out of sight really.
in terms of the second half, as you said, they had a lot more of the ball. Didn't seem to trouble too much though, but then still found the way to get to goal.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, they had a bit of possession and stuff, but I thought our shape were good. It felt comfortable playing. It never felt like they were going to score, if you know what I mean. Obviously, the goal at the end comes from our corner. I think it come from, didn't it? And then obviously a mistake from myself. It's top corner. And obviously, when you're winning 1-0 and the score so late on, it feels like defeat.
Very much a case of 2 points dropped rather than one gained.
Oh yeah, definitely tonight we've dropped 2 points without a doubt. Even with the 1 goal, the game should have been out of sight by then with the chances we had and the chances we missed. And that's something we've got to learn from. That every team's going to have a little spell in the game and they're going to probably create 1 or 2 chances. So you've got to especially at 1-0 as well. You've got to get that second goal and put the game to bed.
Just couldn't take the chances that came to get the second.
No, well that's it. We had the chances, didn't we? The Wayne one, we had the Boise Fiera from the corner. I think we had 1 or 2 other little things as well. But in terms of performance tonight, I thought it was, I thought quite good tonight. We moved the ball about well, kept possession well, created chances. We looked sharp. Pleased with the performance.
It keeps the unbeaten run going at least.
Yeah. It's a positive, obviously, just because, like I just said to you, because they scored so late, it does feel like a defeat. But yeah. Is it 6 now, is it? 6 unbeaten, it's good going in this league, but we'll go to Braintree Saturday and see if we can get a result there.
I'm going to say another long trip south. We've had a few of those over the last month or two. It's what comes at playing at this level.
Yeah, it's been a lot of mileage in September, that's for sure, but, get them out of the way then, don't you? So, but like I say, the lads have done a lot of travelling, but I'm sure we'll have a look at the lads Thursday, see who's... We've got little niggers and they start look after them and then we'll go again Saturday.
What are you expecting from Braintree?
I think they're a physical side, which a lot of them are in this league. I think they're quite direct, so we've had them watched a couple of times, so we'll have a little look more at reports and what have you and then take it from there.
In terms of squad news, who can we officially rule out and who, as you say, who needs watching to see what injuries they've got?
Obviously Dicko's come off tonight with a knock, hasn't he? So we'll have to look at him. Obviously Ben Parker as well was struggling with his ankle after Saturday, so we'll have a look at him. St Gav Rothery. Obviously we'll get a training session in Thursday in Gav and see him, and like I say, we'll see what Martin hears tomorrow from the lads, because sometimes it's next day when you feel little knocks and strains and what have you.
Yeah. So onwards to Essex and hopefully come back with 3 points.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, like I say, we're 6 unbeaten, so lads should take confidence from that. And a good performance tonight. We had a long trip Saturday down there, and we had to battle out a totally different game to tonight. And we got something there, and it should have been 3 points tonight. We know that, but a lot of positive to take from it.
Well, that was Danny Boshell speaking after the game on Tuesday night. He said himself that he made the mistake and it cost us. You're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio, myself, Chris Bell, and Dave Kendra alongside me. Don't forget, get in touch with us this afternoon. Let us know your thoughts and views on this afternoon's game and on the commentary, etc. Let us know your thoughts. Tweet us at Guiseley Radio is the easiest way to do it, and I'm sure Dave will be keeping a close eye on that during the game to hear what the Guiseley fans have to say.
Yeah, you can tweet me anything, really. It's, the guys...
Literally anything?
Not literally... all right, not literally anything, but you know what the Guiseley Radio accounts like. It can veer off into silliness at any point.
Usually caused by you. Anyway, before I give you a chance to respond to that, we'll talk about Will Hatfield. We're going to hear from him in a minute or two. But before that, what's your take on Will Hatfield? For me, possibly the standout signing so far. And in recent weeks, when he's been pushed into a more attacking, advanced midfield role, he's excelled compared to where he started at right back.
Certainly one of the much more improved of the new signings over the summer. As you're right, he did start at right back in the early games and was a bit. I think we agree he was a bit wasted in that position. He did all right. He's a solid right back, but not.
But he isn't a right back. He did well there.
He did well there. He's not a right back. He is. I mean, he is playing now in a more advanced midfield position, and that seems to suit his game a lot more. He's full of industry. He's full of running. He's playing like a man who's really enjoying his football and really enjoying the opportunity to play for Guiseley.
Absolutely. Well, we'll hear from him now. This is Will Hatfield. He spoke to me after the game on Tuesday. I'm joined by Will Hatfield after Guiseley's 1-1 draw at home against Southport. Will, can you start for me by trying some of the performance and the result for me?
Yeah, disappointed. Disappointing result. First half we controlled the game. We did really well. Digger scored a great goal. And then second half, completely different game. We couldn't get out the traps really. We couldn't get playing like we did in the first half. But saying that, we still had some good opportunities. They didn't really have much like clear-cut chances really. So yeah, bitterly disappointed for them to score when they did really. So yeah.
Frustrating not to be able to hold on till the end to take all three.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like I said, we felt comfortable even though we weren't playing that well in the second half. We still felt comfortable and we were still in the game. So to concede when we did, it's disappointing. But we drew, we didn't lose. So it's another point. So we're unbeaten again, but we need to start picking up these wins.
At the end of the season, could look back at this as being a good point, or hopefully not looking at 2 points.
Yeah, no, you've got to look at it as a good point. Any point's a good point in this league. So, but the way we've been playing and the positions we've been in, we want to be winning these games. Football's about winning, and that's why the lads in there are disappointed because we're winners and we want to win every game.
What was it about the second half that just didn't quite seem to happen for you as it had done in the first?
I don't know. Football's a funny game, as you know. It's a game of two halves, and they came out on the front foot second half, and like I said, we just could never get going. And I think they matched us up a bit in midfield, and it was quite hard to get on the ball like we did in the first half. But no, it's football. It happens, and we just got to move on.
And speaking about your personal game, you were playing more of an attacking midfield role, in behind Dicko.
Yeah.
How do you feel you performed, and how are you enjoying that more attacking role?
Yeah, you enjoy it. I like to get forward and stuff, so it's good. But no, like I said, I'm happy to play anywhere. But first half, I thought I did well, got in on the ball in good areas. But second half, I was just trying a bit too hard to try and get on it. But I think that's the circumstances of the game. But now it's football, and we'll move on. And as long as I'm playing, I'm happy.
And looking ahead, an away trip on Saturday against Braintree, another long trip south.
Yeah, another long trip, going to be another tough game. So games coming around quick and fast. So we just got to keep our heads down, make sure we look after ourselves, and we go there with full of confidence with an unbeaten run, and we go and try and get the 3 points.
Well, that's Will Hatfield there speaking after the game on Tuesday. Dave, we're going to go through the two team lineups now. Want your views on it in a second. We'll quickly run through them, though. We'll start with the home side Braintree Town lineup as follows. Will Norris, Remy Clarima, Sam Hebergam, Mark Phillips, Matt Payne, Shay Isaac, Kenny Davis, Dan Sparks, Alex Woodyard, Sam Akinola, and Michael Cheek on the bench for the home side. Mitch Brundle, Sean Marks, Anthony Edgar, Taylor Miles, and Jordan Cox. For Guiseley, it's an unchanged lineup from Tuesday night. Stephen Drench starts in goal. Then it's Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boshell, Will Hatfield, George Maris, Liam Dickinson, and Rob Atkinson. Then on the bench, Den Atkinson, Adam Boys, Tom Craddock, Nicky Boshell, and Zach Thompson. The players are making the way out for the game now. Braintree, not quite as illuminous as Southport on Tuesday night, but not far short.
You'd not miss them by the side of the road, though, would you? That is a noticeably orange shirt they're wearing.
That's motorway workman high vis orange, I think is the technical term.
I think that's how it was written in the catalogue, wasn't it?
So unchanged lineup for Guiseley. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I didn't see on Tuesday any need to make any wholesale changes for today's game. I thought defensively we were relatively solid. I know we sat back a little bit too much in that second half and never really got out of the traps as has been discussed. But we've played a lot worse and got a lot, got a similar result. So I think it was a fairly solid performance generally across the game. So I didn't see any real need to change things. And why not start again with Dicko up front? He's on form. He's scoring free kicks now. He'll win penalties. And he might score one from open play yet.
We can hope. We can hope.
Come on, Dicko.
In the lineup, number 15, starting, he made his debut on Tuesday night, George Maris. Just to talk about him before we get underway. He didn't have a bad debut.
No, not at all. I thought he had a very good debut, actually. He's very young, but he's whip it quick. And he will provide another outlet down the left for Guiseley. We've played Adam Boys there a few times, and Boys bless him, he's not that kind of player. He's never looked comfortable out on the left. So we need somebody who's quite happy playing out there, quite happy cutting in, playing at speed. He'll also provide, I think, a little challenge for Wayne Brooksby's place as well. Once players like Rothery and Ollie Johnson come back. When Ollie Johnson comes back, keep the faith.
That's the eternal question.
One day.
We were talking about Ollie Johnson, to be fair, on the way down, and bless him, he's been out for so long now. But you have the faith that he's going to have a moment this season.
Absolutely. I mean, he's had the moment every season he's been with us of about 20 minutes in a game where he's just absolutely unplayable. And even if he spends this season coming off the bench, only playing 20 minutes, being absolutely brilliant and winning us points, that's good. That's the sort of player that you want to have on the bench. So, I don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take for Ollie Johnson to come back. We don't know the ins and outs of all of that. And I would rather that they took their time and brought him back only when he's absolutely ready to come back, rather than rush him back and he twangs a hamstring again. Absolutely.
Well, you're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio. Myself, Chris Bell, alongside me for this one, Dave, Kendra. We'll quickly run through the two team lineups for you once again, starting with Braintree. Will Norris, Remy Clarima, Sam Habergam, Mark Phillips, Matt Payne, Shay Isaac, Kenny Davis, Dan Sparks, Alex Woodyard, Sam Akinola, and Michael Cheek. He is a handful, it has to be said, Michael Cheek, the big number 23. For Guiseley, Stephen Trench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boshell, Will Hatfield, George Maris, Liam Dickinson, and Rob Atkinson. So we're expecting the same 4-2-3-1 to accompany the same lineup that got the point on Tuesday night. Can Guiseley get a win? 6 games unbeaten, but 5 draws. Can we extend that?
Yes.
To a win? Or,
yes.
or another draw?
well,
Heart says win, head says draw. I think it's the easiest way of looking at this.
Heart says win, head says win to me. Honestly, we can win this game. We've got a bit of fresh blood in George Maris in. We've got Dicko on form. We've got incentive after Tuesday night's disappointment to get right back on it. Head says win. Not a thumping win. We're not going to win 4 or 5-0. That's not going to happen. But we can win this game.
We are still waiting for the game to get underway. The officials are in the middle. The 2 captains going over there. There's a chap with a black bin bag just walked the length of the field. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, but the officials know he's there. He's not a trespasser. Nobody's going to get sent off for it.
He's heading towards the net. I wonder if the net isn't properly secured to the
maybe bag of pegs. That would be my guess.
A bag of pegs. That happened the other week as well.
It happened on
was it Tuesday that happened?
Yeah. There was a similar situation of nets not being fitted properly.
There's surely guidelines for this sort of thing. I mean, is it people getting it wrong, or is it officials being over-officious with their
the nets have been out for some time.
They really have had
a lot of time. So
why
have they not been out properly for some time? We don't know.
The ref really does need to check those nets just a little bit sooner.
So, we'll talk about George Maris again. A youngster on loan from Barnsley. As Mark said in his interview, he had a spell at Nuneaton, so he has got a bit of experience at this level. He looks quick. He looks pacey. Do you expect that we'll see him used predominantly out on the wing? I mean, apparently he can play up front if needed.
He can play up front if needed, and you could play him like that. I suppose you could push him up front and pull someone like Will Hatfield out to the left if needs be, or.
There we go. The referee does get us underway. So it's Braintree in their home kit of bright orange shirts and socks with blue shorts. Guiseley in their home kit, of course, white shirts, navy shorts, and navy socks. Do get in touch with us here on Guiseley Radio, Guiseley AFC Radio. At Guiseley Radio is the hashtag, the at that you need on Twitter.
Handle. It's a handle.
Is it a handle?
It's a handle.
As the ball goes forward from Guiseley, it's just going to be swept back by Clarima to the goalkeeper, Will Norris. He clears it first time. Been picked up in the middle of the park, though, by Wayne Brooksby. That goes back to Toulson. Toulson's clearance isn't a good one. It's Dan Sparks that was pressing, and the ball's gone out of play off a Guiseley man.
Well, we talked on the way in, when we saw this pitch about how wide it is. It's quite wide but quite short. if you get what I mean. There's plenty of room on the wings, but the length of it is not. It's probably about as short as it can legally be.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be fairly easy to frankly try a long ball and just go too long, to be honest. As we say, it is a very wide surface. It's a good area of run out as the ball goes in towards the Guiseley penalty area, and Steve Drench comes out and smothers that one. But yeah, we were saying before, there is a lot of runoff between the advertising boards in front of us and the line. So if you've got a long throw taker, there's a lot of space to get a run up. As the guys now look to come forward through Will Hatfield. Hatfield goes down. He was caught between Tyrrell's 3 Illumina shirts, and he's won a free kick. Where's Liam Dickinson? It's the first question. Where's Liam Dickinson?
Dicko, he's got the ball. Brilliant. He's got the ball. He's having a pop. Come on, Dicko. But that's what Hatfield's good at. He burst through from midfield, and he caused a little bit of panic there in the defence.
Well, there is a good amount of Guiseley fans behind the goal to our left-hand side. There's a 5-man wall, just taking the necessary steps back. George Maris goes and takes the place on the end of the wall, looking to cause 1 or 2 problems. Liam Dickinson and Wayne Brooksby are the 2 men stood over this, but Liam Dickinson's got all the poise of Cristiano Ronaldo with the white shirt to match. Not quite the same club, though. One day, we'll get there. As Liam Dickinson steps up, puts it low this time, looking to go around the wall. Instead, hits it into the wall. Brooksby picks up the second ball, finds Maris. Maris looks to swing it in with his right. That's gone all the way into the hands of the goalkeeper, Will Norris.
Oh, Dicko tried something different there. I think they were all expecting him to try and flick it over the wall. It was a little bit close to try and do that, so he side-footed it around the wall. But the wall was lively to it.
That's the side foot of doom. Meanwhile, Akinola comes forward for Braintree, causing problems. And Daniel O does well, puts it out of play off Akinola, the number 10. So it's a throw in to Guiseley. Less than 10 yards away from their own corner flag, though. Daniel O takes a few steps back, looking to perhaps get a bit of distance on this one. Goes down the line, looking to find Dickinson. Loses out the header to Shay Isaac. And then there's a bit of a tussle there, and the free kick's been given. Well, the assistant was looking to give the free kick. The referee played advantage and has worked out all right for Guiseley. As Toulson plays it back to Lawler. Now Danny Boshell. Boshell gets it down that right-hand side. Finds Hatfield. Hatfield brings it across the halfway line. Goes out looking for Brooksby. Now back with Boshell. Boshell's high ball forward. Liam Dickinson will give chase. It's flicked away by Braintree. Back out as far as Dickinson. Over on that right-hand side. He's got a bit of work to do to get it into the box. And Guiseley do lose possession, and that allows Braintree to clear it. Met by the head, though, of Rob Atkinson is the clearance from Braintree. Not back forward. It's just a bit of head tennis at the moment. It seems like it has been for the last minute or so. Neither of these sides able to get the ball down so far in this game. As the ball comes out to the right-hand side now for Braintree. As Woodyard knocks it back to the number 15. That's Mark Phillips. The centre half, the ball's in the box. Michael Cheek. Sorry, it was Dan Sparks that was trying to take it on a turn. He brought it down well enough, did the turn as well, but his shot with his left foot over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball into the box there, and Dan Sparks watched it all the way, brought it down beautifully, turned on a sixpence. But the ball never really settled properly for him, so he got underneath it and over it went. I think Lockie probably had him covered even if he'd kept the shot down.
Yeah, you're probably right. Is it me or is it that bright orange makes the numbers on the back of the Braintree shirts a little hard to read? White numbers on bright orange shirts. It could just be my eyesight.
A little bit of both probably, Chris.
Meanwhile, Braintree do clear the ball long. Michael Cheek looks to get in between the two centre halves, but Rob Atkinson does well. Plays it to Toulson. Toulson goes long down the right-hand side, finds Dickinson. You can clearly see what his role is going to be in this game, but his touch is a poor one, and it goes out for a throw-in. Both sides have got that big man up top. In the form of Michael Cheek, it's more height rather than build. As the ball does go long, finds Akinola. Goes out to play off a Guiseley player. We've played about 6 minutes here at Cressing Road. The Avanti Insurance Stadium, home of Braintree Town FC. There's a good number of seeing Braintree fans in the stand opposite, making a lot of noise as the cross comes in from Braintree. It's been cleared away, half cleared in the end by Guiseley. Ball comes back into the box. Michael Cheeky's up there at the back post, gets his head onto it. Thankfully, didn't have the pace to trouble Steve Drench, and that was simple for him to deal with. But it was a decent ball in, and a bit more pace on that, and it would have been troubling.
Yeah, guys, they want to watch that because they were in a position where they could clear the ball, and they tried to play it out from the back and gave the ball away.
As Liam Dickinson flicks the ball on for Brooksby. Brooksby goes around the outside, takes a touch off the referee's saying it got the last touch off Wayne Brooksby. I'm not entirely sure. It was very difficult to see from here.
We've got a pillar just to our left that's sort of blocking parts of our view of the penalty area in the far corner on the left-hand side. So it's difficult to tell whether that was a corner. Let's say it was a corner, and we've been unjustly awarded a goal kick.
Boo.
Boo. Not that we're biased at all. We're totally biased.
We try his best. 7 minutes gone, goalless between Braintree Town and Guiseley AFC. Long ball forward from Will Norris, and this is the issue with the shortness of the pitch, is that the goal kick has gone all the way through, taken one bounce, and ended up with Steve Drench. He's cleared it back downfield. Now it's with Bosch. Danny Boshell on the halfway line, out to George Maris. I think that's about his first touch of this game so far. Now with Danny Lowe, just in a small shaded area of the pitch, nearest to where we are in the stand that runs the length of the pitch. Adam Lockwood sends it down the left-hand side. Maris will give chase, but that's overhit and out for a goal kick.
And I think we might see that a lot today if Guiseley are going to play that long ball. It is a very short pitch, and it's going to be difficult to... the balls are going to have to be judged just right if they're going to drop onto the head of Liam Dickinson, which is what they seem to be doing. I would warn against doing that too much, though, because it really does... It's quite easy to defend against once you've got the hang of it. We might need to mix it up a bit as the game goes on.
This ball forward from Braintree, takes one flick on from Akinola, all the way through to Drench.
Another example of a goal kick. The keeper hits it, it takes one touch, and it bounces harmlessly into the arms of Stephen Drench. It's very short.
What does Steve Drench do? Goes long, looking to find Dickinson. It's been headed back by a Braintree player. Hatfield will give chase. Defender does well. I think it was Matt Payne that had to take a couple of touches. Now Lawler, who just loses out in a battle against Alex Woodyard. Still, Woodyard looks to come forward. He gets to the 18-yard box, pulls it back. Man there goes for goal. Can't quite work out who it is from here. It's the captain, I think, which is Kenny Davis, the number 8. And he hit it first time, but it was always spinning around and spinning away.
Yeah, they were disappointed with that because they worked themselves into a very good position with Dan Sparks, and he played it back. And Kenny Davis had all the time in the world, but leant back, didn't really make the connection that he wanted, and it sort of squirmed wide.
I think the Braintree section of Braintree spot in that stand opposite, they've got a couple of drums in there as well, Dave.
Yeah, they're very vocal, but it's easy to be vocal when you're underneath the terracing and you've got that echo. Our boys at the far end on the terracing, braving the elements today.
Elements?
Singing their hearts out.
We've got beautiful sunshine at the moment here at Cressing Road.
There is a slightly cool breeze.
Don't let Dave Kendra lie to you, really. We've had an excellent day weather-wise. A really good run down to Essex. As Will Hatfield battles up against Woodyard. Ball goes out off the Braintree man for a Guiseley throw. Midway inside the Braintree half. Ryan Toulson will come forward. Goes short with the throw. Looking to find Hatfield, but Hatfield's lost out to Woodyard. Brooksby tries to put the full-back Hatbringham under pressure. The ball forward. Free kick given in Braintree's favour.
Well, I didn't see much there. I think he's given it for Atkinson pushing, but I think the forward's leaning in. Wasn't much in that.
Now Davis back to Habergam. It's the only name on the team sheet that I'm struggling to get my mouth around.
Habergam. Think of it like a burger.
I've already had one of them.
You don't struggle to get your mouth around burgers, from what I hear.
I don't know what you're trying to say there, although quite right. I had an iron burger.
An iron burger.
It was a
Explain.
bit of a feast.
Explain.
No, I don't want people to judge me. It was excellent. No, we had some great banter with the lassies, didn't you? As the ball runs through to Will Norris.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've said it before. We've had a lovely welcome here.
Keep an eye out for the next episode of Chip Advisor. That was your cue for a plug then, Dave, and you've missed it. As the ball knocked back by Matt Payne to Will Norris. He's going to go along, sending it downfield, looking to find Michael Cheek. Cheek does get the flick on. It's not a bad one. Zakinola goes out to game it. Drench has come off his line, pulls the ball back to Zakinola, and it's did it strike the post? It's wide. It's a miss.
We've absolutely got away with one there. Akinola came in, Drench came out, but Akinola got there first. Drench was just beaten to the ball. Akinola brought the ball away from Steve Drench while he's trying to get back into his goal. Played a perfectly lofted ball over to what I think it was Alex Woodyard, I'm not sure. And his diving header just scuffed off the side of the post. We have absolutely got away with one there.
Yeah, I thought it had hit the upright. But as you say, very, very lucky there. This ball forward from Steve Drench, flicked on by Liam Dickinson. Comes down now to Will Hatfield. Boshell, first time ball forward, looking to find Maris. Maris does well. Now Hatfield again, looking to link up well with Maris. Instead, comes back to Danny Lowe, the left back. Swings it across to Liam Dickinson. Dickinson heads across goal. And it's just going to run out. Well, the goalkeeper's picked it up before it got a chance to. But that was a good move from Guiseley.
Lovely little move from Will Hatfield there again, causing all sorts of trouble on the edge of the D. Finds this out ball to Danny Lowe, who can put in a beautiful long lofted ball to the far post. Dicko just maybe didn't quite get the power on it, maybe just leaning back a little bit, but he managed to get it roughly across the face of goal, but just defied everybody, including his own strikers.
Yeah, it's one of those where you could have just done with having someone like George Maris running in to make more of the opportunity. Meanwhile, Braintree looking to build and come forward. Now the ball with Michael Cheek. Atkinson does well, comes across, puts it out for a throw in midway inside the Guiseley half. So it will be a throw for the home side, which Sam Herbergam has come forward to take. Plays the 1-2 with Akinola. Now inside to Davis. Still with the Braintree captain. Plays the short pass to Sim Akinola. He's looked lively in the opening 14 minutes or so. Boshell tries to switch it across to Maris, but it's been blocked, and that gives Braintree possession. Back to them as the ball looks forward for Michael Cheek. It's headed back well by a Guiseley defender to Steve Drench. Speak, Dave, speak. As the ball comes forward. He was going to say something.
I was going to say something, guys, who were just building an attack. No, it was a lovely header from Danny Lowe there. He watched it all the way over the head of Michael Cheek just to nod it back to Stephen Drench. That's how sharp Guiseley defence is going to have to be today. Michael Cheek's already made a couple of those runs, and so far Atkinson, Lockwood and Lowe have been looking after him, but they can't switch off, not even for a moment, not with this guy.
He's a big unit, isn't he? He looks like he's going to be a handful in this game, and to be fair, so does Akinola, who looks very tricky and pacer.
Yeah. They haven't really had a chance to get Akinola there. Just beat Steve Drench for pace. I think he's sort of deceptively quick.
Now Rob Atkinson plays it back to Ryan Toulson. Now with Brooksby. Toulson looks to get the ball forward, looking to find Danny Bosch, but it's been given away by George Maris. Now the ball in the centre of the park as Braintree do look to come forward themselves. Now with Remy Clarima. Pulls it back. And finds Shea Isaac. Good ball into the feet of Michael Cheek on the edge of the penalty area. Just short one to Akinola. Now Davis. Akinola just can't get the right touch, and that's cleared away. And it's exactly what it needed then, was just a foot through it to get rid. Out for a throw. It's taken by Alex Woodyard. The ball from the number 4, Shea Isaac.
Yeah, some pretty good defending there. Just as the ball was played through to Cheek on the right-hand side of the penalty, right-hand corner of the penalty area, he was almost through, and Lockwood sort of shepherded him away out to the D, where there were a few more Guiseley defenders waiting to sort of bully him off the ball. Again, just going back to what I was saying before, Guiseley are going to have to be so sharp in defence today.
Rob Atkinson's ball forward finds the head of Dickinson. He's nodded it out to this left-hand side to find Maris. He's got absolutely no support around him. Maris does well, pulls it back to Dickinson with a bit of space, goes for goal, blocked by Kenny Davis. Now with Boshell. Boshell puts it across to the right-hand side, finds Ryan Toulson. Can he deliver the good ball? It comes in, it's headed away by Braintree. Back out as far as Danny Boshell. Boshell's attempt to loft the ball in, towards Dickinson. It's overhit and behind for a goal kick.
Well, it was a little bit overhit. Dickinson was also caught in traffic a little bit there. He was had the attentions of two defenders to stop him trying and get there. But it was a good run from George Maris down the left here to hold the ball up and find just to keep possession until he had support to find Dickinson on the edge of the D on this on the left hand side of the.
You've completely forgotten your word there.
Where are we? Braintree on the left hand side of the Braintree penalty area.
This might be a big ask for you, but we've played 17 minutes or so. And how would you assess the first half, Dave?
It's a 50-50 sort of game at the moment. It's a very sort of. It's been a bit scrappy, hasn't it? I thought neither team really finding their passing movement. They're both trying to move the ball around neatly, and neither are really succeeding at the moment.
I think you'd have just completed a line on cliche bingo, to be honest, there, mate.
Game of two halves as well, and also it's a funny old game.
Now the ball at the feet of Jake Lawler.
He's a big unit.
Across the centre circle to find Danny Boshell, the veteran midfielder. Ball forward now to Brooksby. Looks to turn back. Finds Toulson. Plays the 1-2. He's got two orange shirts ahead of him. Opts to return it to Ryan Toulson. Toulson's ball in. It's nodded away by Danny Boshell.
Boshell gets the ball there in the penalty area, and he's trying to lay it off to Hatfield, but again the ball's just a little bit too short, leaves Hatfield just a bit too much to do, and Guiseley surrender possession on the edge of the penalty area. That in itself is almost becoming a cliche. Guiseley surrender possession on the edge of the penalty area. It's been happening in the last few games, and what we were talking about before is just have a pop. Have a pop.
That's what Shearer would do.
That's what Shearer would do. That's what Dicko would do if he got a chance.
That's a fair point. It probably would be, as Wayne Brooksby sends the ball back to Ryan Toulson, just inside the Braintree half. Jake Law now looks to switch it across to Maris. It's going to be a big ask for him to get some on it. He does well, though, to nod it and keep it in play, but he has lost control. Kareem returns very, very well there from Braintree, but then gives it away to Danny Boshell. Now with Liam Dickinson, centre of the Braintree half. Now Toulson, out to Brooksby on the right-hand side. Back with Toulson, lifts it forward, looking to find Dickinson. Defender just gets around the unit that is Liam Dickinson to get the ball away. Now Rob Atkinson. This game so far is struggling to find a flow.
It's not really sparked into life yet, has it? There's not really been a glorious opportunity. I mean, well, there was an almost a glorious opportunity when the header just hit the post. It really has the feel of two teams just sort of feeling each other out at the moment.
It's the free kick. The ball has been played forward by Braintree. They've got themselves a throw-in. Level roughly with the edge of the Guiseley 18-yard box. Now with Woodyard. Sent back to Payne. Opts to go along, looking to find Michael Cheek, the former Chelmsford City striker. So a new signing at the club this season after a 2 or 3 year spell with Chelmsford, not too far down the road. Out for a throw for Guiseley, which Danny Lowe takes, looking to find Dickinson. Does well, gets his flick on, but Maris can't get it under control, and it's cleared away all the way through, in fact, to Steve Drench. Michael Cheek and Rob Atkinson having a bit of a rough and tumble there.
Liam Dickinson has had an orange shirt almost attached to him for this entire game. He's obviously causing them great concern because every throw-in, every free kick, every time that Guiseley come forward, there's an orange shirt just bouncing into Liam Dickinson. But look, George Maris wins the ball.
Yeah, George Maris does very, very well. That excellent sliding tackle, though, comes in from Alex Woodyard. Superb play from the Braintree man. As regards the orange shirts and Dickinson, at one point I thought he was wearing one, frankly. That's how tightly they've been marking him. As Akinola goes down in the centre circle under a challenge of Danny Boshell.
But it's been happening in the last couple of games, and they've obviously decided that the way to stop Liam Dickinson is to put a man on him at all times. And it's not such a daft thing to do.
It's the only way to stop him.
Well, it's not such a daft thing to do because Guiseley are putting a lot through Liam Dickinson at the moment, trying to find him going up front. He's trying to hold it up for Hatfield and Maris and Brooksby. So it's not that daft a thing to do, which is why they need to mix it up a little bit and start getting it out to the wings just a little bit quicker, perhaps. Maybe create a few more chances that way.
Free kick taken by Braintree. Goes over to the left-hand side. Headed away by Guiseley. Back in possession, though, for Braintree. The ball over the top, looking to find Shay Isaac. Just goes a little bit too long and out for a goal kick. Yeah, it's interesting your choice of words about Liam Dickinson being a concern to the opposition. I think at one stage you might have been considered a concern for Guiseley fans, but he's enjoying a fine spell of form.
He absolutely is. We talked about most improved players. He's most definitely one of them this season. He's certainly enjoying his time in the National League. He's playing very well. I mean, the game against Halifax should go down in history. He's really turned it around.
Now Will Hatfield chasing up against number 15 of Matt Phillips. Phillips is forced to put it out for a throw. And it's a good position for Ryan Toulson to come forward to take the throw. There isn't that much of a run-off on that side opposite us in terms of him to try and wind up for a long throw, but you'd expect that's what he's doing. He leans back on the advertising boards, then takes 3 steps forward, launches it in. Liam Dickinson looks to get the flick on. Defended well, though, to be fair to Braintree, and cleared well away, straight into the hands of Mark Bauer. He returns the ball to Ryan Toulson. So it's going to be another throw for Guiseley. This one just in front of their dugout. Long down the line. Once again, you know who is the target. He loses out this time. And the ball is played across to this near side by Braintree. Shay Isaac looks to stab it through to Clarima. Takes a touch and goes out. Clarima quickly takes the throw. Isaac gets around the back of Daniel Lowe. The cross comes in. Steve Drench is there. Comfortable for him to deal with, although Michael Cheek was looming down on him.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit off balance. It just fortunately came to him. I'm not sure that he was expecting really to beat Danny Lowe that easily, and a little bit off balance, leaning back as he put it in. And easy for Steve Drench to collect. Just reading the Twitter account. Thanks, Stuart Farnworth.
Braintree coming forward, though, now. Down that left-hand side, there is Woodyard. Woodyard goes down. The referee...
No.
He's giving a free kick. Yep, he's pointing to the white line. He's giving a free kick, not a penalty. But as I say, the referee, his first instance was to go over to the line, the white line on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's good to see that he was quite so certain that it was definitely a free kick.
I'm glad that he was so certain. I'm glad he was so certain. I'm not sure I'm so certain. Oh, he's, there. It looks to me like Lockwood's just stood his ground.
Yeah.
He's just stood his ground, and then the Braintree player's trying to get around him and can't, and has gone down somewhat. I'll say it, somewhat theatrically, and won a free kick.
So a free kick now for Braintree, right on the white line. As we look at it, the left-hand side of the 18-yard box, plenty of orange shirts going forward. It's me, Akinola, to take the free kick. It goes over the top of the crossbar and behind for a goal kick. It wasn't the worst effort, though. I've seen it. It was a difficult angle to go for goal from. You'd expect the cross would have been the more normal option.
Yeah, and it looks like half his teammates were expecting a cross as well, but he's obviously tried to curl it beyond Steve Drench's left hand into the top corner, but hasn't quite managed it, just overhit it a little bit. I was just saying, I was reading the Twitter account, thanks to Stuart Farnworth, who likes my description of Jake Lawler as a big unit. It's because it's true. And Craig Shearston says, I went to school with Sam Herbergam's big sister, didn't I? Craig Shearston from the Supporters Club.
There we go. Celebrity links, even in Braintree. And not a mention of Towie so far until now. I've ruined that.
You've ruined it now. You've ruined it.
Well, yeah, he's not having a bad game. Sam Herbergam, the left back for Braintree. Meanwhile, Guiseley have got themselves a throw in just in front of the home dugout. On this occasion, Ryan Toulson will look to go along down the line, looking to find Dickinson. Dickinson does get his head on it. There's certainly arms on a Guiseley man inside the box there. The ball, though, comes to Danny Boshell. Boshell back to Toulson on the right-hand flank. Cross comes in. Headed behind by a Braintree man. Mark Phillips was forced to turn that behind for a corner kick. And a good chance for the likes of Lockwood and Rob Atkinson and Jake Lawler to get themselves into the Braintree penalty area.
Big units all. And those Braintree defenders did not look entirely comfortable in clearing that ball away, suggesting that a good ball played in at a good height and a good pace, and we could be on for something here.
Can Wayne Brooksby deliver a good cross in? It's very high towards the back post. Dickinson gets his head on it into the side netting. Gets a round of applause from the Guiseley fans behind that goal. He won the header well enough, but he was always going to struggle, wasn't he, to get that on target.
What did I literally just say? A good ball played in at a good height and a good pace. That was a looping high ball. I don't think it was what Wayne Brooksby was looking for. Dickinson does so well to get his head on it at all, but he's never going to make the hit the target from there.
Don't forget, get in touch with us, as people have been doing on Twitter, at Guiseley Radio. We'll also try and keep you up to date with the other scores in the Vanarama National League. I think Dave will be keeping a close eye on that as the afternoon progresses. Meanwhile, the ball with Braintree. Michael Cheek looks to play the ball through. Good ball forward as well. Braintree man goes down. The fans claim for a penalty. The player nor of his teammates do either, and the ball comfortably with Stephen Drench.
We'll go for a couple of quick scores. Grimsby 2 up away to Southport. Welling 0, Halifax 0. Forest Green's troubles continue. They are 1-0 down at home to Gateshead. And in better news, Barrow are losing 1-0 at home to Kidderminster.
Well, that's great for Kidderminster, it has to be said, because they've been having a torrid time, of course, themselves of late, with managerial changes, and I think even that's... I think they might even have been
had about
a
3 different
second
managers
change
this season, haven't they?
Yeah, there's been more changes in the management staff there. Now, Adam Lockwood brings the ball forward up to the halfway line, finds George Maris. Back now to Danny Lowe. First time ball forward, looking to find Dickinson. Dickinson, it's a big challenge from Mark Phillips. It's going to be some battle, I think, between those two as the afternoon goes on. Now the ball with Toulson inside the Guiseley half. He's forced to go back to Rob Atkinson. In turn, Atkinson goes back to Steve Drench. Drench, he had time to take a touch and get out of his feet. Instead, Ops go first time to Lockwood. Now back to Danny Boshell. Guiseley just being forced and camped inside their own half at the moment. Stephen Drench brings it a couple of yards outside his box before launching a long one downfield. Finds Liam Dickinson. He was looking to find Brooksby, who was making the sporting run, but it's been cleared away. Back with Rob Atkinson now. We've got just short of half an hour on the clock. Guiseley 0, Braintree 0 here at Braintree at Cressing Road. You're listening to Guiseley AFC Radio. Commentary team of Chris Bell, and alongside me is Dave Kendra, as Alan Lockwood looks to come forward now with Danny Lowe. Another long ball forward. Brooksby will give chase, headed out by a Braintree player. Bosch takes the, Danny Boshell takes the throw-in quickly. And here it comes back to Danny Boshell. Another throw-in for Guiseley. Danny Lowe will take this one. May look to try and make the most of the wide pitch, the wide runoff area on the pitch. That's not going to be the case. He says more than likely goes and does so, goes to the short one to find Dickinson. It's just been given away far too cheaply as Remy Clarima now makes a bit of progress down this right-hand side. Up against Jake Lawler. Excellent work from Jake Lawler there. He's done very, very well. Now Hatfield, there's a name we haven't really mentioned too much in this opening half an hour. And this ball forward goes out for a Braintree throw. But yeah, so, you know, we talked beforehand about how much improved Will Hatfield has been, having changed from right back to centre mid and now playing in that more advanced role. Sadly, looks like we put a bit of a jinx on him because he's been very quiet in this first half an hour.
He has been very quiet, but then I think the attacking players on both sides have been kept rather quiet. It's been a game where defence has been paramount.
Cue the cliches.
No, but really, I mean, there's not been that many chances to get going. Dickinson's being marked so close. Hatfield's being closed down whenever the ball comes anywhere near him.
Midfield battle.
As is Danny Boshell. It is a midfield battle. It was a good. Clarima there got away on the right hand side when Jake Lawler stopped him in his tracks.
Now Toulson looks to put the ball in, flicked on by Hatfield. Nobody there to get the second ball, though, as it was loose inside the Braintree 18-yard box. And now it's back, all the way back to Atkinson. Atkinson plays it out to Danny Lowe on this left-hand side. He's forced to go back to Adam Lockwood. They're defending in numbers. There's effectively a back five with four in front when Guiseley are trying to work an attack. Now Hatfield sprays it across to the right-hand side, finds Toulson into Brooksby. Brooksby, first-time shot, never really go into trouble. Needs to be something a bit more special from that kind of range, but Will Norris gets behind it. Goal kick.
On the plus side, he had a go. They worked to space. Lovely ball across from Hatfield to Toulson and played back in, and Brooksby had a go. And that's what we've been asking them to do. So there are positives about this, you know, that Guiseley have carved out chances, you know, carved out just one or two half chances so far. You know, this defence is not impenetrable, and as the game goes on and legs start to tire, we might see this game open up a little bit.
Now Brooksby looks to play the ball forward to Hatfield. Hatfield does very well, slides in to win the ball ahead of a Braintree man. Back to Toulson, now with Lawler. Inside the central channel, it's moved out to the right-hand side now as Toulson. First time ball forward, headed away by a man in orange. Now Michael Cheek tries to knock it down for Akinola. And Mark Bauer gets that one under control before giving it to Toulson. Toulson takes the throw in quickly.
Sign him up.
We did at one
Sign
point.
himself up. Yeah, we did.
What a move that turned out to be in the long run. Now with Danny Lowe. Plays it across to Rob Atkinson. Atkinson looks to get it forward. Up to Dickinson. Dickinson brings it down on his thigh. Wasn't the greatest of touches, and it's in the long run cost him. His position is given away. Now here's Habergam. Atkinson does well. Comes across, stands his ground. Ball forward again. Up towards Dickinson. I'm almost getting a little bit bored of saying this, though. It's always up towards Dickinson, but that's because of what an outlet and a target he can be.
That's clearly what we've been set a stall out to play like today. Find Liam Dickinson and feed off and feed off him. I'm not certain it's working.
How many times and how many ways can you find a way of rewording the balls played into Liam Dickinson?
The ball's pinged into Liam Dickinson. The ball is looped over to Liam Dickinson.
Any other answer on that? Tweet us at Guiseley Radio. Here's Wayne Brooksby. Gets the edge of the box, goes for goal towards the near post. It's kind of half saved by the goalkeeper.
That was again a nice move. This is what I'm saying when we pass the ball about. Hang on.
Why is this a throw-in?
Brooksby's had a shot. It's been sort of
that's
hoiked away by the keeper, and it's gone out for a throw. So how can it possibly be?
It's why is right? Basically, Braintree have got a throw in here, but how? Because the shot came from Brooksby, it was parried away by the goalkeeper, and it went straight out. That's remarkable. / actually atrocious. Anyway, play continues, much to my amusement. Well, all the way through to Steve Drench. That is absolutely staggering. It's not just me, is it? There's one or two surprise looks, but then also a couple of people were looking at me then as if I was complaining for nothing. But I'm fairly certain when the ball goes out off an opposition keeper for a throw, it's ours. Come on, Dave, help me out
That
here.
is how I understand the rules of the game. Well.
Oh, that's a poor ball forward from Adam Lockwood. He was looking to find Danny Lowe. It's throwing taken by Braintree. Now with Kenny Davis, the captain. Now Akinola, good turn. Gets it away from Lawler. Back inside to Woodyard. Now Habergam. He sends the ball forward, looking to find Dan Sparks. Now Lawler as Guiseley regain possession. Back to Toulson. He goes all the way back to Steve Drench. I didn't mean to sigh too much when I said that, but it was just there was people open. Didn't need to go back to Drencher.
It's possession football, Chris. That's what we're playing. We're playing possession football. Maybe try and take a little bit of the sting out of the game. There's been sting in this game, right?
No, there's been no sting whatsoever.
No. So who's that Geordie on the far side with the hair? Singing in a high-pitched voice.
Now Hatfield looks to come forward. He's got Brooksby to his right-hand side. Surely he's going to play him in, and he does so. Gets the 18-yard box, pulls it across. Shot comes in from George Maris. Now Lawler to Boshell. Can Guiseley make something of use with this possession? They've got it to Hatfield on the right side. Good little Megs on the defender. Pulls the ball back across, and it's a poor ball. There's nobody there. It's cleared away only as far as Danny Boshell. Boshell sprays it across this left-hand side. Finds Danny Lowe. He's got Akinola ahead of him. Akinola does well. Comes down, closes him down. Goes out for a throw. I think Danny Lowe's appealing to his teammates for a bit of movement there because he had the ball and nobody moved for him. Nobody broke into space. Throwing is for Guiseley. Lowe looks to find Dickinson. Dickinson, I think, wins the header, but only flicks it on to a Braintree man. Clears it first time. Lockwood does well. Gets there ahead of Cheek. Cheek does very, very well, though, with the recovery tackle. Great sliding challenge from the Braintree man. Now Woodyard lifts it over the top. Is it Akinola and Cheek? Cheek goes towards the ball, pulls it back, looking to find Akinola. Strikes Danny Boshell. He claims a handball. Referee says nothing happened, and play continues. Dickinson goes down against Mark Phillips, and the free kick is given there. And I said before, I thought that could be quite an interesting battle.
This is exactly what we've been talking about. Dickinson's been so closely marked for the entire game. I think Phillips has just caught Dickinson there. I saw it. It didn't look deliberate. It looked like they were both turning at the same time, but it is a foul.
So we've played 30.
By the way, Bev Dickinson suggests that the ball is generously presented to Dicko, whether he wants it or not.
Generously presented.
Generously presented to Dicko.
If he scores, I'm going to do my best to get that in. Anyway, free kick taken by Danilo up towards Dickinson. It's not that generous. The defending was good, and behind for a corner ball.
Good. Yeah, again, the ball played up. Dicko's causing all sorts of trouble. He's got three men around him, and he wins as a corner.
So we've got a corner ball for Guiseley. Wayne Brooksby looks to take the corner. Outswinger, headed by Robert Atkinson. Comes down to Danny Boshell. Boshell with the first-time ball coming across towards George Maris. Clarima goes down. Oh, he's gone down. The referee's giving a free kick, and fair enough, it might have been a coming together, but he's gone down like he's been shot. He's a defender.
I'm not into. What's he done to himself there? He's down. He's holding his head.
There was a clash there.
His legs were in the air
with George Maris. They were both going for it, but he's gone down like he's been shot. That's right. Cy Wintle's now trying to take a selfie with us, and he's struggling dearly.
We're too far away, Cy. It's not going to help. There you go. Hello, Cy.
We'll see if this works. I no doubt this will be on Twitter later on. Meanwhile, you're not missing anything. Remy Cleveland's back on his feet, and the goalkeeper, Will Norris, has set the ball down to take this free kick.
Has he had a haircut, Simon Wintle?
He has. Liam Dickinson scored, didn't he? At that first one. He wasn't going to score to get his haircut until Liam Dickinson scored. And that penalty away at Torquay was just what did it. So I think some barber somewhere's made a small fortune outside Wintle there. Yeah, got quite long.
Yeah, you could stuff cushions with that hair. It was extraordinary.
This is what it's turned to. The game really is in a very scrappy period as the throw-in from Guiseley looking to find Dickinson has been intercepted well by Braintree. Number 5 there of Matt Payne knocks it back to the Braintree keeper.
By the way, thanks Josh Brayshaw for the pundit cliche bingo card you appear to have tweeted to us. We'll be studying that at half-time. You can play along at home in the second half. I think we've probably hit a couple of lines anyway.
I reckon we're on for a house at the very minimum already, and we've only played 41 minutes. Kenny Davis looks to find Akinola. Great reading of the game there from Danny Lowe. He leaves it though, shields off the defender, waits for a teammate to take it. Boshell plays it forward to Dickinson. Dickinson, I think, just lost his bearings, and the ball goes out of play off him. Throw-in taken by Braintree.
It's all a bit after you, Claude, that clearance from the guys in defence. There's 4 of them, all each waiting for the other one to make the first move. Very strange.
Is that some kind of cultural reference that I don't quite understand?
I don't. Yes, it is.
Just leave it at that. It's easier. Explain at half-time. Meanwhile, Akinola with the ball at his feet on this near side. He's doing well. He's did very well up until a point, but he's been given away by him. Good work from Maris and Hatfield. Good sliding challenge there from Danny Boshell, the Guiseley assistant manager, not the captain. That's Adam Lockwood today, with Ben Parker, of course, still being out. Did speak to AD early, and they're hoping that with this spell where he's out of the games, that hopefully his fitness will come back. Meanwhile, Braintree on the attack goes for goal from the man on the left-hand side. It was Dan Sparks. Toulson does well. It took a good few seconds there for the ball to come back down then. I think Toulson had pretty much put that into orbit.
Yeah, they'd worked a position out on the far side and took a shot that stung the palms of Stephen Drench and just looped up into the air. We weren't quite sure where that was going to come down. But again, guys, this is what I mean. Guiseley just went to sleep a little bit at the back there, and Braintree have the capacity to move the ball around at speed and create an opportunity, and that's what they did there. And if Stephen Drench hadn't been, well, let's face it, Stephen Drench, we might have been 1-0 down there.
Absolutely. Well, Braintree, nice to be fair, they are a top 6 side at the moment for a reason. They lost their opening 2 games, but since then have lost just the once. So on a very, very good run of form that has seen them into the top 6. Ball forward from Brooksby. Dickinson looking to give chase. He's battling with the fullback, Habergam, but he loses out. Ball is given back to the goalkeeper, Will Norris, for a goal kick.
By the way, Jamie Bradley, absolutely agree with you. We need another special Dicko moment. Hashtag free kick Wonderboy. Hashtag everywhere we go. Hashtag Lions.
What was that? Free kick Wonderboy.
Free kick Wonderboy.
I think we should need to get side foot of doom. That needs to be trending as well. That's self-proclaimed side foot of doom, by the way. That was before the free kick on Tuesday night. Yeah, after the penalty against Halifax, he referred to it as the side foot of doom. And then he went and scored a free kick like that with a side foot. So I think it's accurate.
So, there's a distracting moment there. Stephen Drench just cleared his lines, hit the ball into touch, and it hit the advertising hoarding bar. So I'm wondering if he's won some sort of challenge there.
Now, as Shay Isaac looks to come forward, Lockwood does well, steps across him, gets it away, but Guiseley aren't able to maintain a spell of possession as Dan Sparks now to Shay Isaac. Isaac knocks it back. Bergam comes forward. Here's Isaac again. Now Woodyard goes back to Kenny Davis, the number 8. Bergam inside. Now is Sparks. Braintree looking to work the ball well. Eventually the cross does come in though. And after a really good little passing play, that was the worst bit. There we go, as you'll have heard that. 1 minute of added time at the end
I would suggest that half-time couldn't come soon enough for Guiseley at the moment. The momentum of this game really has swung a little bit away from them, and they're being a bit pinned back just this last 5 minutes or so.
There we go. There's your warning then. 1 minute till half-time. Time to print out your bingo cards. There's the excellent strike from Dan Sparks. Rasping shot there. Hit it left-footed, waited for it to set up nicely, and smashed it with his left foot just over the top of the crossbar. Excellent effort from Dan Sparks.
Yeah, lovely effort. Really got behind the ball there. Really was a dipping effort. I think Stephen Drench saw it all the way, though. He didn't look particularly perturbed by it. But it was a shot at pace, and it was something that we needed to be aware of.
We're not actually going to try cliche bingo, are we?
I think we've already done it without trying. I don't think there's any danger of us not being cliches.
Next up, Partridge Bingo. Well, the half-time whistle has gone, and then Bromley brings this first half to a close. It's been a relatively even game between the two sides. It's ebbed and flowed. More ebbs than flows, to be honest. So half-time here at the Avanti Insurance Stadium. It's Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 0.
So, I mean, how are we going to get back into this game now?
But we're not behind.
We're not behind. No, you're right. But I mean, we could play another 45 minutes exactly the same, and it's a 0-0 draw, and we all go home just a little bit dissatisfied. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change, and I think what Guiseley have done in going forward a lot is work their way through Liam Dickinson just maybe a little bit too much. Maybe they can be using Liam Dickinson as a decoy whilst letting George Maris and Wayne Brooksby run at them a bit more.
Do you think it's become too predictable? And it's now too easy to read from Braintree's perspective?
You know what? If you spend an entire half pinging the ball towards Liam Dickinson, eventually even the dopiest defender in the world is going to realise that if you just mark Liam Dickinson, then you stop Guiseley attacks. And that's what Braintree have been doing a little bit too much. You know, they're trying to play the ball over the top too much. You get that ball out wide. There's a couple of times where George Maris has found space on this left-hand side and cut inside and found out balls to Hatfield or Dickinson. You let him do that, you feed him as much as you can, and suddenly Braintree have a real problem. They have not dealt with George Maris or Wayne Brooksby as well as they have dealt with Liam Dickinson.
And because of that, perhaps George Maris maybe not being in the game quite as much as we saw in the first half on Tuesday night.
Yeah, he's certainly been very useful today. He certainly looked useful. Slightly distracted as one of our colleagues on the press box attempts some sort of mambo under the press table. It was extraordinary.
He's done it before, clearly.
What was I saying? George Maris, yes. He's a useful player. He's got good control. He can cut inside, and he's shown a couple of times today that he's not afraid to shoot. And this is what we were talking about before of players that are not afraid to get into a position, see the goal, and have a go. And that's what we need to work on a bit more in the second half for my liking. And but I think defensively we've been fairly solid. Atkinson and Lockwood have had a couple of things to deal with, but have dealt with very well. Their striker Michael Cheek, he's got in a couple of times, but Lockwood and Atkinson have been sort of shepherding him away. I think Braintree will be as frustrated as we are that they haven't created a bit more. That they haven't had the really clear-cut chances that they would have hoped to make. So I think the two teams there are going to come out second half and really, really want to make a difference to this game.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a short break in a moment or two. Before that, we'll quickly run through the half-time scores around the grounds in the Vanarama National League. So these are the half-time or latest scores. Aldershot 0, Macclesfield 2, Barrow 0, Kidderminster 1, Boreham Wood 0, Aldrian 1, Braintree 0, Guiseley 0, Bromley 3, Chester 0, Cheltenham 0, Tranmere 0, Forest Green 0, Gateshead 1, Lincoln City 2, Torquay 0. Of course, the Imps travelled to Nethermore on Friday night in front of the BT cameras. Southport 0, Grimsby 3, Welling 2, Halifax 0, and Wrexham 0, Eastleigh 2. So, as things stand, quick look at the live standings. Guiseley will remain in 16th place. So that brings the first half coverage to a close. Do stay with us here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Full second half commentary for you very, very shortly. Go put that kettle in and print off your bingo cards. Welcome back to Cresting Road Stadium, the Avanti Insurance Stadium here at Braintree Town FC. Mark Bauer, well, he sent his players back out onto the pitch here. What do you think? Bit of a flea in the ear?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but he's done this quite a lot. Guiseley do tend to come out just a little bit earlier than their opponents. I don't know if it's a psychological thing or whether Mark's just said all he wanted to say to them.
What would you have said, Dave? What would you have said to them? Be careful, we're on the radio.
No,
it wasn't that bad a performance.
It wasn't a bad performance. It was, at worst, uninspiring.
Yeah, I think that's quite accurate, though.
But
from both sides, generally.
And I think, from both sides as well. I think both managers will be saying very similar things in this second half, is that requires a little more. Both points in that first half, both teams had midfielders with their foot on the ball, waiting for teammates to make a move. You know, Boshell, for us, had his foot on the ball a few times, waiting for somebody to make a run or somebody to present themselves, but it just wasn't forthcoming. Same for Braintree. They've had attacks hold up because they're waiting for someone to make a run. A little more application from potentially those wide players that we were talking about. You know, be a bit braver, make a difficult choice, take a 50-50 chance. Has anyone been caught offside today?
No,
not one. That's telling in itself. You know, it is a gamble making that run. That hopefully the ball will come through to you, and hopefully you've timed it right. The fact that nobody's been caught offside today tells me that nobody's taking a gamble. Perhaps they're afraid of losing. I don't think they should be afraid of losing today. I don't think there would be any particular shame.
So much pressure on Guiseley in that respect, perhaps, away from home?
I think there's pressure on Guiseley all the time for that. I think that the pressure that we sort of expect them to win every game. We expect them, we want them to win every game, and sometimes that can be difficult to cope with. Do you know what I mean? And especially this season where, you know, we've come up from the Conference North where we won more than we lost, and this season we're drawing more than we win. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
But that's it. You know, it's just an adjusting of expectations of the team and what they can achieve and what they and what we can expect against opponents of a higher calibre.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, the fact that we're not being beaten that often so far has been a rather large positive, to be honest.
Which is exactly a positive, and it's something that we should be, I think, celebrating a lot more. You know, to go a month, touch wood, but basically to go 6 games without losing a game in this division is not easy. Anybody will tell you, because anybody can beat anybody else on the day. It's that tight a league. There's not the Hello, I'm about to use a pundit cliche. There's no easy games in this league.
Tick.
Tick. There you go. Remember, tweet us at Guiseley Radio with house whenever you've filled in your board. But my point is, my point stands, I think, because...
it could be a long half at this rate. Anyway,
let's hope it's a long half because of our commentary and not because of the football.
Well... the Braintree players are back, the officials are back, and Guiseley will get us underway in this second half, kicking from left to right. And the ball now with Ryan Toulson. He looks to get it forward up towards Liam Dickinson, headed away. Hatfield's there to pick up the second ball, though. Looks to get down this right-hand side, and then he's basically rugby tackled, and somehow the free kick goes in Braintree's favour. Dave, talk me through that one.
Well, basically, what happened is the Braintree defender pushed Will Hatfield over and seems to have gained a free kick for it. That was extraordinary. Pulling. The linesman is suggesting that it was suggesting that he was being pulled. I have to say, it looked more like a push to me.
That
would be me.
I'm
anyway, Hatfield was not pleased with the decision, had a little go at the linesman, has now been talked to by the referee from the byline all the way up to the halfway line.
There's been a couple of questionable ones. That one and the one which we saw in the first half regarding a throw-in that was clearly Guiseley's, but given to Braintree after it taking a touch off the Braintree keeper last.
Still very confused about that.
Meanwhile,
we have had some slightly odd decisions at this level, and it's not just us that have said that. It's other clubs as well.
throw in for Braintree, taken by Habringham. The ball moved infield, but cleared away by Guiseley. Liam Dickinson brings it down, takes a touch, shields the ball away from Matt Payne. As the ball is played forward by Ryan Toulson into a dangerous area, but Braintree deal with that. And now Kenny Davis can look to bring the ball forward. Sprays it out to that right-hand side, finds Clarima. And comes across. In the field to Woodyard. Still Woodyard. Across now to Sim Akinola on this left-hand side. Akinola up against two defenders before the ball comes back out. And now Woodyard. So it's getting to a point where Cy Wintle is desperate for chip advisor, Dave. Tell him it's coming. Tell him you've done
Chip
it.
advisor will be coming. Keep an eye on the Twitter feed. It's coming tonight.
Ball forward looking for Dan Sparks from Braintree. Cleared away. He loves his chip advisor.
I can't believe we're getting heckled now.
We've actually, it means there's a fan base, even if it's a fan base of one. The ball inside now for Braintree. Atkinson puts his foot through it. Gets it away. Only out as far as Shay Isaac. Before the ball goes down the line. Braintree play goes down, gets back up again. Referee lets play continue. Woodyard picks up the ball. About 20 yards out of goal, central in the Guiseley half. Now Michael Cheek. Cheek goes down, clashes with Adam Lockwood. Both of them go down. Don't know how the referee's going to see this one, but I can't imagine it being favourable to
Going
Adam
for his
Lockwood.
pocket.
So, Adam Lockwood and Michael Cheek are both down. He's still got a hand in a pocket. Could be a race. Whoever gets up first will get the booking. Well, it's not going to
Could
be Adam
fishing
Lockwood.
for change, or
Lockwood
oh no,
goes.
he's
He's giving the card to Michael Cheek. It is. Well, I didn't see anything in that. I didn't see a booking either way.
It looked like a clash on the edge of the penalty area. Everybody's being marked very close. It was a slightly unbalanced. Neither man went in fully balanced, and yeah, it just looked clumsy. So I'm surprised Michael Cheek's got a booking for that.
He could probably consider himself slightly unfortunate there to pick up the first booking of this game. Meanwhile, the free kick has been taken. Dickinson keeps it on this right-hand side. Can't be controlled or held up, though, by Wayne Brooksby. And then he's cleared away. Here is Michael Cheek. Well, man, as we say, the first man on a yellow card. Now Akinola on this left-hand side. Goes in field still with Sim Akinola. He goes down over the Guiseley man. He too has gone down. There's a bit of a trailing leg more than anything. Did you see much in that, Dave?
Happened right behind the pillar, Chris. Can't see a thing. Not gonna lie.
Don't get that match of the day, do you?
You really don't. It's
well, it's Danny Boshell.
yeah, Danny Bosh just looks to have done something. He's pulling his shin pad off.
Oh, has he moved in? You know, can you see now?
I'm leaning.
Ah. It is Danny Boshell. He was the man that was in the way.
Oh, he looks very. He doesn't look happy, Danny Boshell, and
Quickly
Martin
run
there,
through
just,
two team lineups for you whilst we get the chance. Start with Braintree. Will Norris, Remy Clarima, Sam Haberger, Matt Phillips, Matt Payne, Shay Isaac, Kenny Davis, Dan Sparks, Alex Woodyard, Sim Akinola and Michael Cheek. And for Guiseley, Stephen Drench, Ryan Toulson, Danny Lowe, Adam Lockwood, Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boshell, Will Hatfield, George Maris, Liam Dickinson and Rob Atkinson. On the benches for the home side, Mitch Brundle, Sean Marks, Anthony Edgar, Taylor Miles and Jordan Cox. Interesting to note, no sub-keeper. Not relevant at this stage, but just for reference. And on the bench for Guiseley, Dan Atkinson, Adam Boys, Tom Craddock, Nicky Boshell and Zach Thompson. So, midfield options there in Nicky Boshell, his brother, and Zach Thompson should a change be needed. He's going to come off to this left-hand side to perhaps continue receiving treatment, or just because that's what the ref has to make him do. Free kick now. Dan Sparks takes it, headed goal bound, but over the top. And Danny Boshell just jogs back on.
yeah, I think we'll just see how he goes for the next 5 minutes. The substitutes down on the far side warming up. He's moving on it fairly okay, but fairly gingerly. So we'll see how he goes. I mean, we haven't got direct replacement for him. I wouldn't have said Zach Thompson's a very different kind of central midfielder, but I would have thought it would be him who comes on if needed today.
Now the ball forward, chested down by Liam Dickinson, and he hoists it up into the air, looking to give Brooksby some challenge for. Flick forward by Hatfield. Hatfield continues his run. It's going to be marshalled out of play, though, well, by Mark Phillips for a goal kick. 50, short of 52 on the clock. It's Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 0 here on Guiseley AFC Radio.
Again, it's carried on in much the same vein as the first half. Unfortunately, it's two teams just sort of.
It's not an exciting vein, is it?
It's a chess match of a football game. This.
We're not marking that one off. Chess match of a football game. We're not having that.
I wasn't going for
A house.
wasn't going for a house then.
Throwing now for Guiseley. Ryan Toulson sends it very long down the line. Dickinson looks to get his head on it. He doesn't do so, but it is flicked on into the path of Wayne Brooksby. Gets his head on, then goes down. Hatfield can't get around 3 orange shirts. Brooksby gets a bit of frustration there, just shoves the Braintree man out of the way. But Guiseley do maintain possession until now as Lockwood lifts it forward. Dickinson got a challenge on here. Instead, he was following the wrong man as Habergam, sorry. I'll get there eventually, mate. Gets control of that and clears it away.
Habugun.
Toulson now with the throw, looking to find Dickinson. Dickinson gets the nod down. Nobody there to get the second ball, though. Akinola very deep at the moment. He is. That's away and forward by Lowe. Headed back downfield by Mark Phillips. Now the ball lifted over onto that right-hand side. Dan Sparks does well up against Lockwood. Lockwood gets the challenge in, though. It's fully cleared away by Danny Lowe. Now Lockwood hoists it forward. Nobody there. Just finds an orange shirt. Braintree back in possession. Down the right-hand side, ball forward. Nobody chases. And Danny Lowe looks to clear it forward, but it goes out of play off the back of Shay Isaac, I think it was. And it's out for a Guiseley throw deep inside their own half.
You can hear that drummer again.
Yeah,
he's out in the open now.
Ball forward, headed away by Rob Atkinson. Only out as far as Shay Isaac. Comes across now to Simon Akinola. Akinola thought about the shot. Didn't settle nicely enough for him, though. And now Brooksby away from Habergam. Plays it out to Ryan Toulson. He's got Akinola, and now Habergam does well, gets back, sends it down the line, kept in play surprisingly well. That's fairly poor. By fairly, I mean very. I was being a little bit harsh. Sorry, not harsh enough there, perhaps, from Danny Boshell, but the ball hasn't come to anything from Braintree. All the way through to Trent. She clears it down field. Wayne Brooksby. He's just going to give chase, but Matt Payne shields it out, and Brooksby's gone to ground. Referee's given the goal kick. Nothing more.
It looked like Wayne Brooksby tried to get a.
Basically, tried to go around,
wrap himself around the waist of the defender there to try and get the ball.
Went through the back of him almost.
He had a leg stuck up in the air, and I worried for a moment that maybe he'd caught the defender in the face as the defender overbalanced. But both men walk away, and everyone's fine, it would seem.
So Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 0. Here on Guiseley Radio. Chris Spell and Dave Kendra, your commentary team. As Danny Boshell is penalised for a high foot. Didn't make contact, has to be said, but a high foot it was all the same.
Yeah, I think the referee's indicating it was at head height, so he's qualifying as a
He's
high
done quite well
anyway,
there to get his.
Yeah, he'll do himself a mischief if he's not careful.
So free kick taken by Braintree, hoisted over towards that right-hand side. Clarima comes out, gets his head. Nobody there. Steve Drench takes it first time, sends it long downfield, looking to find Liam Dickinson. Dickinson does so, brings it down, has it at his feet, pulls it back. He's gone back to Danny Lowe. Wayne Brooksby in acres of space on his right-hand side, but it's going to be difficult to get it across to him. Meanwhile, the ball goes down the left-hand side. Maris is there. Good interception. And out for a throw. That's Will Hatfield with the ball in his hands. He's just going to drop that and let Danny Lowe come forward to take the throw in. Now Atkinson. Lockwood. Now Hatfield. Hatfield plays it through to the left-hand side where Danny Lowe, it was continued his forward run. Maris and Dickinson in the centre, number 15 and 16 shirts respectively. So a throw in for Guiseley, deep inside the Braintree half. Low. Back now to Hatfield. Hatfield first time ball, met by the head of Maris over the top. He was always struggling to get any real direction on that.
Yeah, it was a good opportunistic ball into the box.
First substitution for Braintree. When I do a Dave, I forget where we are. And number 18, Jordan Cox, is coming on to replace Michael Cheek. So the man that's on a yellow card goes off. I say he's been replaced by the number 18, John Cox, like for like, striker for striker.
Yeah, I can see why they've done that. Michael Cheek's not really had the opportunity in this game. Perhaps wants to give the Guiseley defence a fresh challenge. And straight away there, Jordan Cox is backing into Rob Atkinson.
He's quite a big man himself, is Jordan Cox.
Here they come.
Here's Akinola, goes for goal, takes deflection. Oh. Great save from Stephen Trench. That was goal bound. Stephen Trench was going the wrong way, changed his body position. Great save from the guys to number 1. The cross comes in, headed away by Rob Atkinson. Now Liam Dickinson looks to flick the ball around. Gets it in front of him. Brooksby chasing though in Mark Phillips. But what an excellent save that was, Dave, from Stephen Drench.
Really scrambled across the goal to get to that and dug it out from almost on the line. It was extraordinary save there. Jordan Cox just, again, getting penalised for a high foot on Adam Lockwood. But the shot sort of came from nowhere through a crowd of players. Stephen Drench is off balance. He's come back across the goal and dug that one out. He's, again, second save of the match he's really had to make.
If this ends 0-0, that is going to look brilliant on the highlights programme.
Well, if it makes the highlights programme this time.
Long ball forward now from Stephen Drench, who took the free kick, met by the head of Dickinson. Now Lawler. Now Toulson. Lawler can't get it under control. And again, possibly a case of overplaying from Guiseley. Now Jordan Cox. He is very, very tall, actually. It's the ball. A bit of indecisiveness there, but eventually one of them makes the decision, and that man is Stephen Drench.
Yeah, Jordan Cox, just from my expert opinion, looks about 8 foot tall. He's clearly up there just to be I mean, he's sort of he's Liam Dickinson, isn't he? He's just been put up there as a.
He's Liam Dickinson with
so
a
they
beard.
Ping the ball at him and feed off him.
No, I thought Michael Cheek was a big man, the man that he came on to replace, but I think John Cox is taller. As Lockwood puts that out for a throw, safety first approach.
Not that I get hung up on height or anything, you know, but I think he is a big unit.
Now here it is with Jordan Cox just outside the 18-yard box. Ball out to that right-hand side. It's been whipped in by Shea Isaac. A little bit deep perhaps. Akinola will give chase though, and it's going to stay in play. Akinola up against Ryan Toulson. Does well. Gets between two men there before he loses the ball. Now Danny Boshell. Back to Toulson. Great closing down from Woodyard.
Guys didn't want to watch this. Braintree have clearly decided that they're going to put a bit of pressure on the Guiseley defence and try and push them back a bit. And on Tuesday, they did drop back quite a lot, the defence. So I think dropping back against this lot would be a very bad idea indeed.
Yeah, they've been pressing very well, to be fair, of Braintree in this game. They've defended well. But now with the likes of John Cox up along alongside with Dan Sparks and Akinola, could cause problems. I mean, it's effectively a 4-3-3, perhaps. Akinola's pulled out onto this left-hand side. Sparks is pushed over to the right. And Jordan Cox operating through the middle. And that's left Isaac, Davis and Woodyard as a central three, perhaps, from Braintree's perspective.
I think, yeah, they're two well-matched teams at the moment, and as it stands, they're cancelling each other out largely across the pitch. So
now shot comes in from the edge of the box from Dan Sparks, but it's been dragged wide, not troubling Steve Drench.
he did well there, Dan Sparks, to get beyond Jake Lawler there. Just was put slightly off balance by the challenge and just hooked the shot wide in the end. But yeah, I mean, it's all pressure that they're putting on us, and we would be wise to try and find an outlet. Looks like there's a substitute warming up on the Guiseley bench. Is that Nicky Boshell?
I believe it is. That does look like Nicky Boshell, who's stripped off and ready to come on. Training top off. Puts on his number 19 shirt. Just pops back out to do a bit more warming up. So it looks like we will see a change soon. Who would be your man to come off, though? Dave Kendra. As in, who would you like to see come off? You're not the man to come off. We're not replacing you in the commentary box.
I wouldn't blame you. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because a little bit of me would like to see him go up front with Liam Dickinson. You know, you bring off Brooksby or Maris, who have struggled to get into this game. But here comes Boshell now.
Here's Danny Boshell, lifts it over the top, looking to find George Maris. Maris goes down inside the box. The referee waves it away and says it's just a goal kick.
Yeah, that would have been a very soft penalty. I'll give him that one. I've been a bit harsh on the referee today, but I think
it's George Maris's last action of the game, as it is the number 15 who's going to come off and be replaced by Danny Boshell. So 15 off. Sorry, yes, Nicky. So that's Nicky and Danny on the pitch. Danny Boshell, Nicky Boshell coming on.
One of the Boshells.
So the man on loans from Barnsley, the second game.
He's not done anything wrong for me particularly. He's just struggled to get a bit into this game.
Completely agree. At the moment, it looks like no change in terms of formation. It's just going to be Nicky Boshell. I think he's going to be playing out on that left-hand side a bit more. He's currently through the middle as this free kick is being set up to be taken. But the likes of Atkinson and Lockwood coming forward as well. Ryan Toulson, in fact, is the only man, or the furthest man back, and he's taking the free kick. So all the bodies are forward as the free kick is taken by Toulson, met by the head of Nicky Boshell. Sorry, it wasn't. It was Liam Dickinson.
Yeah, Dicko managed to get up there, but he was leaning back on it. It just scuffed off the top of his forehead and out for a goal kick, which is a shame. I feel like that felt slightly rushed to me.
Yeah,
slightly rushed free
agree.
kick. I don't think there was any need to particularly hurry that free kick.
With all the white shirts running forward, I expected that to be better, more set up, more rehearsed. Goal kick now for Will Norris. That's gone all the way through, almost past Steve Drench as he came running out. He's a little bit fortunate there that Akinola didn't get anything on it. Now Dickinson tries to bring the ball down for a teammate. Instead it's away by Braintree. Now with Ryan Toulson. Back to Rob Atkinson. We've got 65 on the clock. 25 to go here at Cressing Road, the home of Braintree Town, where it is Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 0 here on Guiseley AFC Radio. The ball breaks for Danny Boshell. The save has been made by Will Norris. It wasn't the best of efforts from Danny Boshell, but it broke to him very, very kindly.
So close. So close. Yeah, we got a bit lucky with the bounce, but Danny Boshell turns, sets himself, tries to find the shot, tries to place the shot. You want him to belt it, top corner. but he tries to place the shot.
Corner comes in from Nicky Boshell, and that is absolutely woeful, but as is the clearance. Throw-in taken by Boshell. All the way back to Danny Lowe. Still plenty of white shirts in the box, but instead he's had to go back to Toulson inside the centre circle. Now Toulson over on this right-hand side, looking to find Dickinson. Dickinson will give chase up against Jordan Cox. Cox puts it out for a throw. Yeah, I think the opportunity there to Danny Boshell was, what's the word? Graciously presented to him. Ball forward, looking to find Nicky Boshell. Now Rob Atkinson. Now to Hatfield. Looks to spray the ball over to the left-hand side. Decent ball as well to find Daniel Lowe, but he's going to be up against it now because Akinola is all over him, and Akinola does well and dispossesses the Guiseley left back. Now brings it forward. He's over the halfway line. He's got teammates in support still. Akinola on the run. Goes inside to Jordan Cox, and Jordan Cox's touch, thankfully from Guiseley's perspective, is awful. He couldn't play it out to a team out of his left-hand side who was charging forward, and the chance has been blown by Braintree.
Absolutely brilliant run from Akinola from our right-back position, curving through the centre circle to try and feed Jordan Cox, but and a couple of really rash challenges from Guiseley players along the way. If they'd caught him, I think there could have been one or two of them in the book there.
Now Toulson for Guiseley. Lifts it forward, finds Hatfield. In the central channel inside the Braintree half, goes down. Referee allows play to continue. Will Hatfield furious with the decision, but Woodyard picks up the ball, plays it over to the right hand side, and thankfully for Guiseley, it's gone all the way through and out for a throw.
I think the kindest thing I can say is I think the referee likes to keep the game flowing, because he's really not. There's been a couple of instances there where, you know, he could have blown up for a free kick.
Yeah,
he hasn't.
I'm not going to moan about that, to be honest.
I am.
I think it's worked in both ways, though, in this game so far. There's been chances when Guiseley perhaps could have had a free kick, and there's been chances perhaps when we would have conceded a free kick. So I'm not going to be too complaining about letting the game flow. I think it needs it. The one thing that annoys me is when you get a stop-start game. And this hasn't been full flow, but it's not been that bad. You were going to say it has, weren't you, Dave? This ball goes forward. The offside flag goes up. First offside of the game.
Offside.
68 minutes gone. And the first offside goes up against Jordan Cox, the Braintree substitute.
Yeah, I just think, sometimes consistency is what's required. He's given a yellow card to, he gave a yellow card to Michael Cheek for seemingly nothing, but then, gives for people have. There's been a lot of arm raising. There's been a lot of pushing and pulling. There's been a lot of
couple of high boots.
I mean, look at
now. Nicky Boshell gets inside the box. He's got 3 chances. He's still trying to get through. Eventually, a Braintree man can get it clear. Only out as far as Ryan Toulson. Very much inside the Braintree half, midway through the half, in fact. Now Hatfield looks to turn and get round the defender. Great challenge comes in. Out for a Guiseley throw deep inside Braintree territory. We're going to see the second change, and it's number 14, John Miles, coming on to replace number 4, Shay Isaac. There we go, confirmation. Shay Isaac, or Ches, being replaced by Taylor Miles. So 14 on for 4. No changes as yet, or no further changes for Guiseley. Just the one made by Mark Bauer so far. Now Ryan Toulson with acres of space to get a good run up on this throw-in. It is Ryan Toulson, launches the throw into the box. Excellent throw-in. Cleared away by Braintree. Nobody there to pick up the second ball. Now Akinola can come forward. He's got Woodyard over to his left-hand side. Thankfully, that is a poor ball. I feel like I've had to say that a few times in this game. Thankfully, the ball's been poor from Braintree, because there have been chances that could have cost us. Come back to bitten us on the backside, Dave.
Yeah, and Guiseley were a little bit lucky there that the throw-in's easily cleared and there's no one there to pick up the second ball. There's no one on the edge of the box, and suddenly this Braintree town can break very quickly. They do have that capacity, and they nearly caught us out there.
Now, Habergam on this left-hand side, back to Woodyard. He's been a decent little player for me in this game for Braintree. Alex Woodyard, he's looked lively. Now the 14, the Taylor Miles, the substitute. Ball. Well, you can see what the home fans think. They're claiming for the handball. For me, I agree with the referee. Struck Danny Boshell on the chest. Play continues. Shot comes in over the top of the crossbar from Dan Sparks. Sorry, it wasn't Sparks.
No, it was Taylor Miles, and it took a deflection. And it's a corner there. It deflected it over the bar, I think. The initial shot might have been on target.
71 minutes gone. Looks like Zach Thompson will be coming on shortly for Guiseley. Probably, you'd think, for Danny Boshell. Meanwhile, the corner now for Braintree. That's a good one. Stephen Drench does well, parries it away. Only almost put back in towards his own box from Nicky Boshell, but it's come out to this left-hand side. Finds Woodyard. Plays it to Sparks. Sparks now to Miles. Still Taylor Miles has the ball at his feet. Lays it across to Remy Clarima, the right back for Braintree. Gets inside the box. Up against it, goes down. Referee gives absolutely nothing. Play continues.
What's worrying about this is there's an awful lot of last-ditch defending.
What's the pressure? Very, very much on the Guiseley backline. Going to see that change for Guiseley in a second, but carry on, Dave.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of last-ditch defending here, and we can't do this. We're getting pushed back and back and back and back and back. And the more last-ditch defending that we're being forced to do, or the more last-ditch defending that we allow ourselves to be forced to do, there's going to be a few cards here, because Braintree have a couple of very quick players, and if we start bounding in on them, then the referee is going to start handing out some cards.
Well, substitution is happening for Guiseley, and it is, as we suspected, Danny Boshell, the man that's going off, and Zach Thompson. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So Zach Thompson is on. Something that we spoke about actually on the way down, in the car, and there's been one or two question marks I think that have been put on Zach Thompson so far. It's still early days in his Guiseley career. And I think I made the point as we were travelling down, we were looking up at his career history so far, that he's only had one real spell of first-team football, and that was in the 12-13 season with a loan spell at Borough.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think what that might explain is why he's just taken a few games to get used to the pace of first-team football again. I think that's one thing that... you've got to give him. He'll need 5 or 6 games to get back up to speed. He's been playing academy football for the last 2 years, so he needs time, and he needs a few games under his belt before he'll get. But he's full of energy, he's full of running, and he's full of industry. And you really hope he succeeds here.
Well, I have to note that Danny Lowe is currently off the pitch. There's an incident. When the substitution was made, free kick was given in Guiseley's favour, and it's Danny Lowe that has suffered a bit of an injury. He's currently receiving a bit of treatment over that far side, and he's going to come on with a numberless shirt. So it is good that he's returned to the action. Zach Thompson, his first involvement is to win possession back for Guiseley, and now Nicky Boshell looks to come forward down the left-hand side. Nobody within 10 or 15 yards of him. Does well, though. Brings it across now to Thompson. Thompson to Dickinson on the edge of the 18-yard box. Cleared away by Braintree.
Dicko, a little bit. They'd fed the ball. That move between Boshell and Thompson, then they'd fed the ball to Dicko, and he was trying to feed it back to Nicky Boshell. What he could have done there is just hung on to it for one touch more, and then fed Nicky Boshell. He was in there.
Well, Danny Lowe is now back on. Jake Lawler does well. Gets possession back. Liam Dickinson, though, trying to get between 3 orange shirts. Even a man of Liam Dickinson's stature would always struggle there. It's Ryan Toulson now. Plays it back to Lockwood. Lockwood goes back to the goalkeeper, Steve Drench. Drench clears it. First time downfield. Now Dickinson does win the flick on. Brooksby up against Habergam. It's been half cleared away by Habergam. Only as far as Toulson. Toulson back to Atkinson. Atkinson, first time ball forward. We've got 75 minutes on the clock. Guiseley man in Nicky Boshell goes down, nothing given, gets back up, goes down to close it down, and the referee has given a handball against him. That's a little unfair, but in honesty, I think for me it would have gone out for a goal kick anyway. Another change, Anthony Edgar coming on. A winger who is capable of playing down both sides. So Dan Sparks going off, and we are going to see the third change, I think, for Guiseley. We are indeed. Liam Dickinson is the man that's going off, and he's being replaced by number 10, Tom Craddock. So Tom Craddock gets another run out off the bench for me. Losing Liam Dickinson, perhaps it's got a little bit predictable in play that we are going to get it to him, but we have lost the target man. We haven't got that big outlet.
But yes, but it's fair to say that it hasn't worked today. To ping it towards that big man and have him up front. Tom Craddock's a bit of a poacher. If it drops to him in the 87th minute, you'd put your house on him, burying it, hopefully. And with the extra support of Nicky Boshell up front as well, I mean, it's potentially could go to 2 up front, maybe? Craddock and Boshell up front?
Depends how brave you're feeling. We've got 77 on the clock. The ball with Stephen Drench. First time clearance downfield. Tom Craddock will be having something to chase, but he's going to be really up against it in terms of the aerial battles against the likes of Matt Payne and Mark Phillips. Now the ball with Remy Clarima. Inside now to Miles. Good ball forward. Finds Akinola. He's been lively throughout the game. Zach Thompson gets the challenge in. Akinola goes down, then gets back up again before he realises he was never going to get a free kick out of that. Tom Craddock would chase it, but the ball rolls through to Will Norris and is picked up by the Braintree Town goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper?
So, yeah, the goalkeeper. The keeper of the goal.
Keeper of the goal.
Ball forward from Norris, met by the head of Rob Atkinson. Just a bit of head tennis as Toulson flicks it on. I think I've said that more in this game than any other game so far this season as well. There has been spells where it's just been one hoof ball to another between the two sides. Now Zach Thompson gets his foot on the ball, plays it out to the right-hand side. Nicky Boshell slips, but gets up just about to regain possession for Guiseley. Thompson tries to lift it over to the left-hand side where Daniel Lowe had made the overlapping run. And now Anthony Edgar, a man of Football League experience, comes down this left-hand side looking to find Akinola. Row Atkinson does well, has to come across, puts it out for a throw. Midway inside the Guiseley half. 78 gone. Still goalless between Braintree Town and Guiseley here on Guiseley AFC Radio. The commentary team of myself, Chris Bell, and alongside me, Chief Bingo caller Dave Kendra. Now the ball into Jordan Cox's feet. There's a poor one given away. Hatfield, though, just niggling at him there and concedes the free kick. And he's
silly free kick to give away there. He just stuck out a leg and caught the Braintree player on the ankle.
Short free kicks worked. The shot comes in wide of the goal, but it was a quick one that caught Guiseley napping.
Steve Drench will tell you he saw that all the way. It was just sort of played in between the two guys, the defenders still deciding whether or not to form a wall. The shot from distance, it was sort of bobbling along the ground, no great pace on it, but Drench just looked for a moment like he might have been off balance, but it bounced harmlessly wide, and Steve Drench collected it with the demeanour of a man who knew he was going to do that all along.
So Guiseley unbeaten in their last 6 games, 5 draws and 1 win. 1 defeat in the last 6, but 3 wins. As Guiseley look to come forward now with Nicky Boshell. Left-hand side of the 18-yard box, pulls it across. Almost drops staying low. Low pulls it across, and it's gone in! It's Tom Craddock, the poacher. He stabbed it in. Danny Lowe did very well there. He got into the left-hand channel, pulls it across the box. Craddock gets there ahead of the keeper and stabs it into the back of the net. And Guiseley have got the lead. It's 1-0 to the Lions here at Braintree.
Well, they've been threatening it in patches throughout the game when they passed the ball. This is exactly what they were hoping to do a bit more. They passed the ball across the top of the penalty area. They forged away into the penalty area. It was a beautiful little cross, and I didn't see whether it was a back heel or a toe poke or what, but in it went. And it's Tom Craddock's second of the season, and absolutely every Guiseley player went and jumped on top of him. What's important now, of course, it's very late in the day. Guiseley have to remain concentrated, see this game out.
Well, we are inside the final 10 now. I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't see who that went in off at all. But bearing in mind everyone's celebrating with Tom Craddock, that blue pole right in front of our line of vision as to where the Guiseley man was then. Meanwhile, they've got to do some defending now as Braintree look to come forward. Sliced into the air by Zach Thompson. Now, Akinola. What Guiseley can't afford to do at this stage, though, is what it looks like they've started doing, which is just hoofing it away at every opportunity, because that is just going to hand possession back to the home side. And
If
we've
we pull
seen
a
in spells
Southport
in this
on
game, we
this-
can't do that.
Yeah, this is exactly what we did in Southport for the last 15 minutes. Is drop back to the edge of our own penalty area and let them come at us. And if we do that against Braintree today, they will punish us. They will get another chance. There's another chance in this game for Braintree, and I wouldn't be surprised if they took it.
Yeah, there's a side that are very much capable of scoring goals. Don't forget they put 4 past Altrincham at Moss Lane. Just the game before last. They beat Woking here on Tuesday night 2-1, so they are 6th for a reason. They've played very, very well, all bar the opening 2 games, by all accounts. Now Zach Thompson chasing against Mark Phillips. Good header forward from Toulson. Unfortunately for him, it's straight to Woodyard. Now his ball forward down his left-hand side, finds Anthony Edgar. Up against Rob Atkinson. Atkinson's been sold the dummy. The cross comes in, defended and cleared away. Out for a Braintree throw. And now Haberingham. It's too late now. Woodyard puts the ball in towards the back post. Met by a Braintree head. And just wide. Come on, Dave, talk to me.
Haberingham, Herbergham. We've got to keep laughing, haven't we, here, because this has suddenly got incredibly tense. From a game that was sort of potentially petering towards a 0-0 draw, suddenly now there's a bit more impetus in the game, and certainly a bit more impetus in that Braintree attack. Guiseley just sitting back a little bit too far, inviting the cross in. Very fortunate that it didn't that it dropped the right side of the post from a Guiseley point of view. But Braintree will just keep doing this now. We'll just keep pushing forward. Nothing to lose now, of course. They can gain a point or they can go ahead and lose. But so they might as well throw everything they've got at us now. We can't sit back like we sat back against Southport. Braintree will eventually punish us.
Well, there is 7 plus added time to go by my reckoning. The travelling Guiseley fans to our right-hand side behind the goal in which Tom Craddock scored are making lots of noise. Thompson loses out there to Woodyard. His ball forward looking to find Cox. He's intercepted by Lockwood. Ball back towards goal and Braintree, and the goalkeeper, Will Norris, will pick that up and then looks to go along. You really do feel there's going to be a much more direct approach from Braintree. We've seen that at times when necessary, but you really do feel that they're going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at Guiseley. Now Toulson goes back to Drench, almost inviting pressure. Drench is touching the ball one. Akinola was running in there, does well. Steve Drench at the end, a bit of a panic moment just to get that a clear. Craddock is giving the free kick taker, Matt Payne, no distance at all. Ball from Payne over to this left-hand side, goes out for a throw, but it is a throw deep inside the Guiseley half. And Dave, you look like a very tense man, and I think that's about how everybody here supporting Guiseley feels right now.
Bit of nonsense here happening between the Braintree number 5 Matt Payne and Tom Craddock. They had a bit of a coming together a moment ago and just chipping away at each other ever since. Tom Craddock's trying to be a physical presence there, and
bless him. He's a good footballer.
He's got Matt Payne a bit wound up. I'm not going to knock him for that.
But the words physical and presence aren't what spring to mind for
but
me
the point
when
is,
Tom Craddock's concerned.
I think
But he needs to try and be that, to be fair.
My point is, you need to start defending from the front, and you need your strikers. You need Tom Craddock, you need Nicky Boshell, and you need Zach Thompson to be charging these balls down, to be gaining possession wherever we can, to be working it forward, to release the pressure on the defence, because it's going to be a very, very, very long last 6 or 7 minutes.
Well, the free kick has been taken. There was an offside against Zach Thompson. The ball given away to Nicky Boshell, but that's just pointless. I mean, it might work out all right. No, the defender's going to keep it in, but there was nobody there.
He's just going to get this and boot it back in. You've only relieved the pressure a little bit. There's no white shirts in the Braintree half at all. Everybody's packing the owner half.
Now Kenny Davis, the captain for Braintree, looks to come forward, lifts it over to his left-hand side of the 18-yard box. Flag goes up on the far side for an offside decision. And right now, Guiseley just need to wind the clock down. Take your sweet time over this one, Drencher.
Yeah, absolutely. Take the sting out of this game. I don't know what he's doing here in the first place.
It's twice you made that joke, Dave. It's not going to work a third time. Now, Steve Drench with the chance to get this long downfield. Tom Craddock up against Payne. Craddock didn't do too badly there. He brought it down with his chest. It was hard to control. It's gone out of play, and Brooksby clearly clears that out of the stadium when the ball was already a yard or two off the pitch. I'm surprised the referee's not going to have a word with that, because that is the most blatant case of kicking the ball away you've ever seen in your life.
Well, we talked about defending from the front, and that's a type of defending from the front, isn't it? That's just making them take a little bit more time to get the ball back.
Tom Craddock throws himself in front of Will Norris's clearance. Sadly for him, he gets nothing on it whatsoever. Now Brooksby facing the wrong way. Toulson clears it long downfield. Nicky Boshell will give chase, but here's Remy Clarima bringing it forward. Touches the poor one. Good work from Zach Thompson. Left one on him, though. And the ball comes across to Tom Craddock inside the 18-yard box from Braintree. He's got to try and get a shot off here, or at least take it to the corner flag. Pulls it back to Brooksby. That's almost a poor one. It falls to Nicky Boshell. Boshell sliding in. It's eventually cleared away. Zach Thompson looked to get the shot in, blocked by the captain, Kenny Davis. All of a sudden, in the last 10 minutes, this game has finally got some life.
Business has most definitely picked up, hasn't it? Yeah, Craddock was clean through, but his first touch just took him slightly wide, and the attack had to sort of begin again. Zach Thompson came in there with a massive boot, absolutely massive boot. I think they heard that about 3 miles away as it clattered off Kenny Davis.
Eyes down for a full house, because I'm going to use one. That goal has really burst this game into life. This is a game that needed a goal. And now it's got it.
Tick.
Now Craddock up against Anthony Edgar. He's a bit of hands on the back there, but Edgar carries on. He's not going to be troubled by that. Akinola now does well. Turns away from Atkinson. Yeah, possibly a little harsh to concede the free kick there, but it has been given in Braintree's favour.
I see a tactical foul there from Rob Atkinson just on the halfway line, just as Braintree were threatening to break away.
So, 2 plus added time to go. How are your nerves? Here's Akinola down this left-hand side. Looks to turn and pull it back. He's got Ryan Toulson ahead of him. Instead, slides it in far too easily to Anthony Edgar. Good work from Wayne Brooksby. Rarely do you say good work defensively from Wayne Brooksby, but he was in the right place there. And here's Hamburgham on this left-hand side. Swings in a great cross into the 18-yard box. Flag goes up on the far side. Has the referee seen it? Yes, he has. And breathe.
Again, good ball in. He's put a couple in, Hamburgham, a couple of good balls towards that back post that have nearly...
Long ball forward from Steve Drench there, looking to find Tom Craddock, which he would have done if he wasn't 12 miles offside.
Approximately 12 miles or 40 kilometres, whichever system you use. But Tom Craddock was most definitely offside there. But no, Hamburgham there, you give him the ball in deep and suddenly...
Will Norris is going to come forward to take this free kick for Braintree. Plays it shot to right hand side. Finds Kenny Davis inside the Guiseley half. Brings it away from the centre circle. Then he's up against us. He runs into traffic in the form of Nicky Boshell. Boshell does well. Turns and plays it to Craddock. Can Craddock run at Woodyard? He does so. Brings it across. Still, Craddock goes on. Eventually, the challenge comes in from Sam Hamburgham. It now breaks for Anthony Edgar down this left-hand side. Turns back. Does well, gets away from Brooksby, now plays the lovely 1-2 with Akinola. Still Edgar, the substitute. Brooksby slides in, goes down, does Edgar. The referee allows play to continue with Guiseley in possession. Now Wayne Brooksby. Can he get this ball forward? It does. It stays in play, though, actually, via a deflection from a Braintree man. And still, Braintree looks to come forward as Taylor Miles. There's going to be 4 minutes of added time. We've seen all 6 substitutions, to be fair, 3 apiece, of course. That was stating the obvious.
Oh, Matt, 4 minutes?
But 4 minutes, well, by the letter of the law, as Stephen Drench comes to punch a clearance, it could have gone anywhere.
He's offside.
He's offside. You sound very relieved about that, Dave.
Well, I am, because I don't...
chinned him, to be honest.
Stephen Drench did not know that, because he just came out, both fists, punched that away. You know, I will punch the ball and the man and the 3 other men around him to clear that ball away. Very brave goalkeeping there by Stephen Drench. Jordan Cox is back up on his feet and he's fine.
We're into that 4 minutes of added time. We've seen a really lively last 10 minutes. Funny that.
Particularly lively from the Guiseley fans who've been enjoying the hospitality this afternoon and are making an awful lot of noise up there.
Ball up towards Tom Craddock. Matt Payne gets the header. Second ball is cleared away. Only out as far as Will Hatfield. Now with Brooksby. Brooksby to Hatfield. Hatfield lifts it over the top. Coulson can keep this in and does so, but he takes it to the corner flag. Ryan Toulson has got Anthony Edgar and Sam Bergam as a linesman. How the heck you can decide where that's gone, who it went off. The corner's been given.
Well, that was all tremendously bad-tempered. They're all on the floor,
Kicking each other,
all with the linesman leaning over them and the referee on the other side.
So it's going to be a corner, 2 and a bit minutes to go before Guiseley look to claim their first away win of the season. Corner has been taken the shortest of corners, and I thought they'd won themselves another one there, but the linesman of his near side has given a goal kick. You can see A.D. Towers pensively walking behind that goal to our right-hand side. Now, Tom Craddock to Brooksby. Brooksby sends it down this right-hand side. Zach Thompson can get on the end of that, but it's good work. Good running from Kenny Davis. Clearance from Will Norris. Atkinson battling against Jordan Cox. Ball forward. Thompson can't go for that. Clearly an offside position. Taylor Miles loses possession there as Will Hatfield puts in a good tackle. Now the ball with Tom Craddock. Hatfield has made the overlapping run. It needed to be better from Craddock in that position. That's given away. Great recovery tackle from Nicky Boshell. The ball on the halfway line. As Braintree look to come forward, it's just been played straight into Nicky Boshell. Now Craddock. The options going forward are limited. The free kick has been given to Guiseley. Akinola failed Tom Craddock. And the free kick is given in Guiseley's favour. And I make it a minute and a bit to go.
And just what we didn't do again, what we did against Southport, we haven't done today is we haven't dropped back in the end, and we're defending from the front. The most amount of defending at the moment is being done by Nicky Boshell, Zach Thompson, Wayne Brooksby, and Tom Craddock, who are just working really hard to just charge down the ball as much as possible, get it into the corners, run down that clock. Why not?
You'd like
See
to
this
think
game out, Lions.
A lesson has been learned, but a free kick, of course, from the offside goes all the way through, and the referee's seen a foul in there, and a free kick it is to Guiseley. 30 seconds or so, less than perhaps. Steve Drench is taking a very slow amble to this ball as Guiseley look to press forward. Surely the referee is going to blow the final whistle very, very soon. Braintree 0, Guiseley 1 here on Guiseley AFC Radio. Stephen Drench sends it downfield over towards this right-hand side. Brooksby will give chase. It rolls all the way through to Will Norris. Rolls it in front of him, outside of his box. Norris sends it downfield, and there we go. The referee blows the full-time whistle here at Cressing Road Stadium. And Guiseley have got their first away win of the season. They are 7 unbeaten with 2 wins in that 7 now. That sounds a little better to say the least. Full-time here at Braintree. Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 1.
And we sail and fly up the A1 tonight with our first away win of the season, and a really good second half performance as well from the Lions as well. Much, much better, especially once the goal went in. They did absolutely everything right. They didn't drop back. It looked like they might do for a little while, just drop a little bit too far back to the edge of the penalty area and invite Braintree on. They didn't do that. They knew they couldn't do that. And by the last 5 minutes or so, it's the attackers. It's Craddock and Boshell and Zach Thompson and Wayne Brooksby doing most of the defending. That's not to say Atkinson and Lockwood today have had a really good game. Kept Michael Cheek relatively quiet. Kept Jordan Cox absolutely silent. I didn't even notice he was there. It's been an excellent team performance. It's been everything that Mark Bauer would have wanted from that second half performance as well. And it was always good. I think it was always going to be one of those games where one moment decided it, where one chance decided it. Maybe this game was always going to finish just 1-0. It was never going to be a 4-3 brilliant end-to-end stuff thriller. But Guiseley have come out on the right end of it for once, and they go and they applaud the 20, 30 Guiseley fans that have made the long journey down. And they'll be enjoying themselves on the way back tonight, no doubt.
And they're all going over to him. Mark Bauer leading his troops over towards the Guiseley fans. It's an excellent 3 points for Guiseley on the road. Will take great heart from this. As I say, 7 games unbeaten now for Mark Bauer's side. Before we said, 5 draws, 1 win in the 6 games. Yeah. But that is another 3 points on the board. That's 11 points from the last 7 games. How would you assess the situation? I mean, we go into a tough game on Friday night at home to Lincoln in front of the BT cameras. But off the back of a win, that's a massive morale boost for them.
I think to get that first away win of the season as well is it gives you confidence that you can go away and win games and you can see games out as well. And I think that's the important thing is we took the lead and we saw it out, which we haven't always done. We haven't always managed to do. That's a big win, and it was a tricky opponents today. Again, they've had an excellent start to the season. I think they'll feel like Braintree could have won this game as well. It's worth pointing out, it wasn't all us. Braintree had their opportunities. They certainly had they pulled a couple of really good saves out of Stephen Drench. There was one opportunity where he sort of had to scramble across the goal to dig it out. There was that shot in the first half where he had to parry it away and up into the air. So, they've had their opportunities. They'll go, well, on another day, maybe we would have won this.
Liam Dickinson, he's going over. Getting a great reception from the supporters.
How many haircuts can he give Simon Wintle?
I was going to say he went straight up to Si Wintle there for a high five, but he's having handshakes and high five from all the Guiseley fans that have made the journey down. We'll round up the scores in the Vanarama National League before taking a look at the table. It's finished Aldershot 0, Macclesfield Town 3. They, of course, travelled to Nethermore next Tuesday night. Barrow 1, Kidderminster 1. Borehamwood 0, Altrincham 1, Braintree 0, Guiseley 1, Bromley 3, Chester 0, Cheltenham 0, Tranmere 1, Forest Green 0, Gateshead 1, Lincoln City 2, Torquay United 0, Southport 0, Grimsby 4, the home side there reduced to 10 men, Welling 2, Halifax 0, and Wrexham 2, Eastleigh 3. So, to take a look at the league table now, Guiseley sit 13th on 18 points. To put that into context, we'll go from a top down in the league table. So top remains Forest Green, 28 points from 13 games. Then Gateshead on 26, Cheltenham on 25, Bromley on 23, Wrexham in 5th, the final playoff place on 23, Tranmere in 6th on 23 points, and then Grimsby, Dover, Braintree and Eastleigh on 21. That takes you down to 10th. Lincoln and Woking on 20, and then Guiseley in 13th on 18, level with Barrow. From the bottom up, Kidderminster on bottom, rock bottom on 6 points, Halifax 23rd on 7 points, Southport on 8 points, Torquay 10th, Borehamwood just outside the bottom 4 on 10 points, and then Altrincham, Welling and Chester. So, 3 points in the bag for Guiseley on the road for the first time this season. The first away win comes here at Cressing Road. Don't forget, Guiseley next in action on Friday night when they entertain Lincoln City at Nethermore Park. Do get down for that one. We know it's on the telly, but there's nothing quite like live football unless me and Dave are covering it. And it's a long way from home. That's fair enough. Do come down to Nethermore on Friday night. Thank you very much for listening. Have a safe journey back for them Guiseley supporters. And do get in touch with us on Twitter as well. We'd love to hear from you on just something to keep us amused, frankly, on the drive home.
Yeah, the Twitter account is @Guiseley Radio. You can tweet us at any time during the week, and we'll try and get back to you. Let's engage in a conversation about Guiseley.
Yeah, this is arguably the most important time to tweet is when we've got a long journey home. But it's going to be a good one with 3 points.
It's going to be a 3.5-hour journey home that's going to feel like 20 minutes because I
can't guarantee that, but we've won.
1 away, 1-0, come on.
So, there we go. From a very excitable Cressing Road Stadium, as far as the Guiseley fans are concerned. Full time here, Braintree Town 0, Guiseley AFC 1. Join us on Friday.